Damn podcast.
Hello, Club Culture family. This is episode 130. 130.
130, ho.
We here
I got Jonesy with me.
on the couch.
I got Dupree.
Hey, y'all. I know you missed me.
And it's Big Sexy T.
Not the little one.
For sure. We
Big
missed y'all.
ass.
I miss Potter.
I miss us. I really
Period.
do.
Period.
I miss the chemistry that club culture brings to the city of Chicago.
Wow.
Even though y'all some
Damn.
Indianimals.
Wow.
Fuck
What?
with y'all.
Wow.
Who's from
Yeah.
Indiana on the pod? I mean, you kind of are,
Nah,
but you from Chicago.
I'm a hybrid.
Yeah, you a hybrid. Ain't nobody
I'm a
from
hybrid,
Indiana
too.
on this pod. Get with the program.
Not Indiana, but Gary.
There we go.
There we go. Big
Yeah,
G.
Gary people can't be Indiana.
GI.
We already been here. I have an ignorant
Mhm.
question to follow up before we were interrupted.
Okay.
Does size matter
In my
in
community?
like gay world?
Yes.
Gay world. That sounds so wrong.
Talking about I
The
almost said
size
F word.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga.
Like so,
Everything that matters to y'all outside of vagina matters to us.
I mean, I don't like big vagina.
well,
I don't.
you like big ass, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, then that matters just as
But
much. as it
ass to dick ain't really a good. You know.
does. So in gay world, we have sex through the anal cavity most
Right.
times,
Mm.
and so even though this ass, as you can see, is very big.
Okay.
I mean, as y'all can tell from the right, the hole is usually small,
Right.
Mm.
and the G spot is
Don't
we-
believe that.
it's in there.
I don't
honey.
believe
it's
that.
just you don't have the urge.
Propaganda.
You
One-
got a G spot, my
Propaganda.
boy.
G spot.
I never find
So
it.
of course, the bigger the dick,
Right.
the higher ratio it is of getting to that G spot in a timely manner.
Mm.
So allegedly our G spots are like far in there.
Mine is, yes. But I don't like porn dick. I like a husband dick.
Mm.
You know,
Can you explain it? I try to tell my homegirl
Yeah.
that
No.
there's a thing called boyfriend.
I was
dick.
gonna say it's called
Yeah.
boyfriend dick in the straight world.
Yeah.
oh, well, I call it porn dick, husband dick. But basically, it's like, a husband dick, it's something you can fuck with for the long run without ruining your poom poom.
Right.
It's like a porn dick, a side nigga dick. It's like, and it's like, okay, this is like some one night only shit. Because if I roo this for a long time, my pussy's gonna be wrecked. And you
Okay.
don't want your pussy wrecked. You know what I'm saying?
You-
But husband dick is often better because you're the more comfortable you are with a dick, especially in gay world, the
Mhm.
better the sex is.
Right.
It's just like
So you can't
yeah,
get comfortable with a porn dick.
you can. Your pussy gonna be loose,
Okay.
Okay.
swell up and fall off.
Question. I'm not the word police, but
Okay.
I've always wondered, where did this originate? Where gay men like to call their private parts pussies.
It's just, I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't like
me,
that. I
Oh my
like
God,
because
we're gonna
y'all
start
still
so
men, bro.
Mom, don't watch this episode.
Oh god.
Well, I know most gay men don't like to call it a bussy. Like I hate the term bussy, and
Why?
most niggas, it just sounds weird. Like
It does.
but
Give me
pussy
And I
pussy
don't
is
like it.
perfectly.
I don't like it.
I've been told, and they're gonna cancel me for this.
Oh god.
Some of the sexual encounters I've had, I've been told that I'm tighter than pussy, and because I'm tighter than the pussy that man has had,
Uh-huh.
it's better
Ah.
than pussy.
Fuck is you talking about? You ain't got that
Bitch,
pussy
I
like
got good
Dupree.
pussy, the fuck.
Okay.
But obviously, I know it's an asshole. It's just I don't want to say, yeah, you like this good asshole, nigga.
Yeah, that don't
I
sound
just be
fly.
like, yeah, you like this good pussy. You turn the nigga on either way.
We gotta find a happy medium, man.
Yeah, we gotta
it's
find
just on two different
Ass.
sides of the
Say ass.
spectrum.
Like I think it should be ass.
Yeah,
it's
ass
like-
is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cause we know what that is, and like it's a pretty
But like,
universal
if
word.
I'm talking my shit, I'm like, yeah, I got good pussy.
So
What's
like
up?
y'all can say what y'all want to call it. I don't care that you
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. Cool. I just know that in the gay world, it can get a very delusional sometimes, and we
Yeah.
act like certain things can just change because we want it to.
I'm very aware I have an anal cavity and not a uterus.
right.
I've just
So-
been told that my anal cavity feels better for some than the uteruses that they have experienced.
One of the
Oh,
weird
this is a
things
lot.
I dislike
Mhm.
is when women want to call women daddy. I don't like that for myself.
I was gonna say you don't like being called daddy.
Bitch, don't call me daddy.
Bitch.
Don't call me daddy.
Can she call you ma?
Deal.
Everything that has to do with a woman, you could call me that. Do not call me daddy.
I don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
get so
I don't want to
thrown
be called
off.
daddy.
You said you don't want to be?
No, I don't call people daddy either. I just feel like that's weird.
It's,
Like,
I'm not.
why would you want to refer to your sexual partner remotely to anything of parental status?
I've called a person I've dated mommy. not you're my mom, but like she's a mom.
She's a hot mommy.
She was a mom, so her nickname.
But is it during sex?
No.
Okay, then
No.
that's fine. I'm saying if we're having sex and you like call me daddy, we need to unpack that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
That's just me.
I'll be quiet. I'm always the odd man out of these talks.
I'm not
So
judging.
like you
it's
like
just-
to be called daddy.
I won't say I like it, but I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
It's cool to me.
Yeah.
So what about slave?
Whoa.
Yeah, nah.
See, you-
Like, what the? Why, bro? When would that ever even? Like, no.
Slave.
Hey,
I'll take slave. Before daddy.
I ain't gonna lie.
Don't
Slut
call
threw
me.
me off.
slut.
Yeah, like I was in some shit. And it was like, yeah, I'm your slut or something like that. And I'm
Slut
like,
and slave are two different terms.
and I'm like, that sound fly, but I'm like,
Sound fly is great.
this got to end soon. Like,
How far are we taking it?
Nah. I'm in a very devious mind state
I do
right
like
now.
slut.
oh,
Right?
God.
Give it to me.
I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm in a
Mhm.
very devious mind state. I'm not very respectful in this moment.
Oh my God.
I'm
Okay.
looking for the whores. I'm looking for the sluts.
No, I'm with you.
right?
Right.
We're
Yeah.
having a great summer.
Oh, yeah, we are.
I have been trying to practice in the mirror of the words I want to call sluts. Like
Oh.
I like hoe, slut.
Bitch.
I don't know if I want to call them bitches. That's not really.
That's
where
really
I ain't-
aggressive.
Yeah, that's too aggressive for me. But like, I'm practicing. You know how I want to go back into being single.
Right.
And slut is definitely number one for me.
Could you imagine
Okay.
having sex and you call your partner a bitch and they're like, bitch, excuse me, get off me.
They close the motherfucking leg on you.
I got your bitch, nigga.
Yeah. You had said something ignorant earlier, Josie. What was it?
I had a dad story about the STD myth thing. Are you talking about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Give it to me
welcome,
raw.
welcome back to Jonesy Dad Stories.
Lord.
Mhm.
So I'm learning about sex from the sexual guru my father is,
Yeah.
Wow.
and he knows better than doctors do. He said you don't need a doctor to tell if a woman got an STD.
Mm.
You could just take some earwax.
What?
You could just take some earwax, just stick it in her vagina.
Wow.
And if it has a tingling or burn sensation to the woman, she has an STD.
Wait a damn minute. Why would she consent to earwax going to her pussy?
Because you got to know if she got an STD, Dupree.
Well, how do you even warm that conversation in the microwave?
Hold on, Pops. I gotta do some research.
Where did your daddy learn this?
Hey,
Like,
man.
did he explain the scenario like, shit, man, I mean, we couldn't afford to go to the clinic, so I just took some
Took some
earwax.
earwax, throw
So
it
is
in the
this her
vagina.
earwax or your earwax?
It's yours. It's mine. Like, it comes out of my ear.
Are we
Or
doing
it's
a
supposed to come
Q-tip?
out of...
Or do you have to do fingers
Put it
to
on your finger.
vagina?
Earwax is a natural waxy substance produced in the ear canal by glands. It
Right, we got
serves
that.
as a protective, lubricating, and antibacterial agent, helping to
Correct.
keep the ear canal healthy.
Yep.
It's generally beneficial.
Does it detect STDs?
Yeah, does it
is the
detect
question.
STDs?
Uh,
Does it trigger a chemical reaction in women?
You might want to ask Chat GPT because Google might not be that well
Chat
versed.
GBT plus.
Yeah.
well, this is actually a question people ask.
Because it was a thing back in the day. Like, ask any old head, bro. Like, anybody that's like my age, anybody born between, I say between like 84 to like 93, had an old head that told him this. This is some real Cedric the Entertainer,
Ooh, this is
DL
some
Hughley
Southern
type.
shit.
So
Yeah.
It says it is not possible to determine a ST.
Who
It's
would have
not.
thought?
Yeah,
Who
I'm
would've
so
thought?
surprised that's
Who
not
would've
a real
thought?
thing.
You know?
I think I burped. I'm sorry.
You know, black
Sorry.
people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That is some
You
shit
know, who
right
would have
there.
thought?
Who would have thought? Earwax does not determine if your pussy is burning.
Yeah,
Wow.
God bless the dead,
If anything,
man.
you burnt the pussy doing that.
Right. She probably now has a yeast
You done spoiled
infection
it, bro.
from the earwax.
Well, I'm sure YouTube is not going to push this video with all
No,
the
you're
You're
cussing
not
and
gonna
stuff
make
we
any
was
video
doing.
from this. The first 3 sentences involve
It's
vagina.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's dive into these notes, man. We
Let's
got a
get it,
lot
boo.
on the ticket.
There's a lot.
Episode 130, season 7. Define the odds. It's a lot of odds to defy in these topics. So we're going to start at the top. I want to give a trigger warning. This episode includes topics that has to do with murder, sexual assault, what else? And molestation.
Shit.
So we're gonna try our best to keep things casual, but just wanted to give that to you all.
Go watch episode any before. We could appreciate the monetization and the support if this episode is not for you.
Let's start with Karmelo Anthony.
That wasn't the basketball player.
No.
Yes.
But a lot of people are confused by the headline, even though it's spelled differently, you know. But
Spelled completely different.
Americans don't read. That's how we got our president.
And why would Karmelo Anthony stab a kid at a track meet?
You know, this is one of those subjects where I just wish people who weren't like a shade room black just shut the hell up. And you know, you have to know when you have the range to speak on a topic or lead a topic. And right now, I'm still, you know, awaiting more facts to come out before I give my full opinion.
Facts.
But I will say, I am not surprised by the initial headlines and the pictures released by news companies and stations depicting him as a straight out the gate villain and the victim as a straight out the gate angel.
Yeah. I want to get us in the habit of not giving the full story when we touch on hot topics, because I want our listeners to do their own independent research.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of us feeding information anymore. So Karmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old student at Centennial High School. It is in Texas.
Yes, in Texas.
He's been arrested and charged with first-degree murder because he has been allegedly accused of murdering, what is the boy name? Hunter Metcalf. Two brothers came in allegedly, these are all witness accounts that have been put out into the media so far of what happened, because all the facts aren't there. They are not there.
This case is pending.
Yes, very much pending and very much still very fresh.
Very fresh. Breaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hunter Metcalf is his brother. Austin Metcalf is the one that lost his life. So basically, Karmelo Anthony was under a tent during a track meet, and he is I kept seeing him in football attire, but
no, that's at a track meet.
Yeah, they were at a track meet, but does he run track?
Well, you know, a lot of football players in the offseason run track to stay fit. Yeah,
I know the two brothers were football players, but I kept seeing whenever people would post Karmelo in a football uniform, though. I was wondering if he also ran track.
Most likely.
More likely, yeah.
Because they kept trying to figure out and speculate, why were you there under the tent? Even though it doesn't fucking matter to me, I wanted to know if it's because he also was there running track.
Well, motherfucker, has nobody ever been to high school in America? Everybody knows in track meets.
Yeah,
when I did track, of course, other athletes of other teams, if it's a home meet, they're gonna be at the tent.
Yeah, we all just chilling, waiting for our
event.
It's a long ass day waiting for your event.
Very long day. It's hot as fuck. That's it.
Sometimes they had their homies in the tents too, depending on the track. And
sometimes your parents be in the tents chilling with you, depending on the track meet. If it's a long distance, like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Get to the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes is Karmelo Anthony is claiming self-defense for why he stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart, chest area. The two brothers allegedly were coming to bully him and remove him from the tent that he was under, saying that he doesn't belong there.
Right.
And meaning Karmelo, did not believe he should be removed and they shouldn't be the ones doing so. And so he stood up from himself and said, touch me and see what happens. The guys touched him, and then he stabbed them and ran away. When the police came onto the scene, he immediately said, I did this. This was me. Do you think this is self-defense? That's basically the cliff notes.
Based off of what we know.
Yeah.
Yes. But this is still a pending case.
Heavy on that.
And I want to say that it take a lot for a man, first of all, to resort to a weapon, especially against two people. Like, that nigga must have been, I hate to say nigga, with the circumstances of this case. But you know how fearful you got to be for your own safety to stab a man in his chest? It's not like they was just sitting there chilling and he just stabbed him. There was some type of altercation and it's 2 against 1. He must have felt in danger. And that's why he was so quick and adamant to come to the police and be like, yeah, this happened because I felt in danger. That's my opinion of what we know so far. Like, if I know I can't handle a one-on-one situation, let alone a 2-on-1 situation, They must have been fucking with him. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that justifies your death. It's a fucked up situation. And I'll ask, like, where was the administration at? Where were the coaches at? Was there any type of supervisor, chaperone who could have de-escalated the situation before it came to what we know? That's my biggest question right now. But it's unfortunate, you know?
Yeah, you could look at this from a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's the direct question you asking?
The direct question is more so I'm focused on the media and how the media, one, portrayed the one that lost his life, Austin, and then Karmelo, the one that is currently up for the charge, the
Right.
first degree murder charge.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like how them twins is being
They're being depicted as angels.
because they're victims at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I just don't like them being painted as innocent victims, because they're still victims, but they're not innocent victims, because they started a problem that led to them being victims of violence.
Yeah.
So I don't like it being painted as if he was this angry black kid that went to the school with this problem.
Just stab somebody.
Yeah,
Do you
like
think
I
any
don't.
black kid in today's social climate that we have would risk essentially their freedom and just intrusively stab, especially a white
Yes.
kid?
Yes.
I don't see that in what world.
Yes,
would
and
any
I will
of us do
explain
that?
it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when you're bullied growing up, it gets to a point where you're like, all right, bro, I gotta do something. Let's say you can't fight.
That's what I'm saying.
So
For
it's
him to
like,
do
yeah,
that, he must have felt
there was
in
a
his heart
problem
that his
there.
life
Yeah.
was in danger or his body was in danger. Like there was a big problem. Nobody, especially a black child, is just gonna, I'm gonna stab this white kid.
Yeah, like not off the wake up. That ain't gonna be your first reaction.
No,
Nah.
you
at least gonna try to fight him.
At the age
Yeah.
of 10, I knew the consequences of me doing some shit versus if somebody from my same life background, different race, did the same shit. I was aware of the consequences that I would have to face compared to what they would have to face.
Yeah, you definitely not gonna start with stabbing them, but people rough you up a few times. You probably gonna, all right, bro. Let me find
there's
something.
No video. How the fuck in 2025? Just a big ass track meet. It's a tent. Like where somebody got footage or something. And that's why my big question is, where is the administration going to be held accountable on this? Because at the end of the day, these are all three minors. Who was watching the tent? Who was the coach in charge? I understand. My mother's a teacher. My grandmother's a teacher. My great grandmother was a teacher.
Yeah,
I
where's
get it.
the assistant coaches?
They are not responsible for breaking up physical altercations. They are not. However, nobody thought to like call police, security. Nobody thought to like do anything about the situation before it led to a stabbing. And I'm only saying that because these are still children.
Yeah,
Like,
I hate that we don't.
Where was the closest adult and what happened with that adult's actions?
Yeah, I hate that we don't have a lot of context.
Yeah.
I hate that the most about this situation as well.
Because it could have happened so fast that even if there was an adult in the vicinity,
Mm-hmm.
that still could have happened.
Yeah.
It
Like
have.
that's a situation that
was there an adult in the vicinity?
right.
If there wasn't, I feel like that is on the school. Why wasn't there at least one adult present in a whole tent full of athletes?
That's a good question.
But then again, we don't
And that's
know.
an
Maybe
important
there,
question
maybe there was.
to me.
Maybe there was. We don't know enough to really give our full,
Yes. I think that is the main perspective I have about this case, is that we don't know enough, and so I don't have much of an opinion. The only thing that I can go off of is just trying to empathize and be in the mind of Karmelo, because he's the one that would be on trial.
right.
I also try to think about what would I do as a parent, because Karmelo's parents have to decide on what they're going to do right now to be in support for their son.
Correct.
One, I feel like anybody that's in comment sections, they just have concrete opinions about this, you're weird. You don't have any information to go off of. And then two, it's a lot of projecting, stereotyping that I've been seeing in the media that I severely dislike, and just the way that the world that we live in, where it's severely media based and everybody got a microphone, everybody got a camera to try to give their 2 cents on some shit.
And they think they have the range.
Yes.
Right.
It pisses me off listening to people talk, because I get to see how you actually really feel about us, and we ain't even do nothing. Like,
Right.
I feel like you talking about me.
Right.
You think I'm
Bitch,
Karmelo.
what the fuck you mean? But they do.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
They do. You are so spot on. I'm sorry to cut you off,
No.
but that was one of the best things I've ever heard you say.
Damn. Okay.
I was gonna say
Because they do. They think you are. They think we are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They
A monolith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Karmelo deserves to go to jail?
We don't know. I
don't know
enough.
the facts.
I don't know.
If you was
Just
to give me a
given-
hypothetical, then I
Right.
could go off the hypothetical. But just purely off of what is in front of me, I don't know. I personally am always iffy about self-defense. I think that you should try your best to try not to take a life when defending yourself. But if a person is trying to take your life,
Yes.
what else
And
can
then
you
two,
do?
These are two children. Their frontal lobe got 10 years before fully developed. We have the maturity to think situations through thoroughly. These are three teenage boys.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids crash the fuck out like no other. They let their intrusive thoughts win. They lack social skills because they spent a good portion of their lives in a house. Like, you don't know what their parents did or did not teach them on both sides. So it's easier said than done. Hell, if two niggas walk up to me and I'm 25, if I feel my life is truly in danger, you think I'm gonna, let me just punch? No, bitch, I'm gonna, in my head, you coming to kill me.
Yeah.
I can't risk, let me just punch him. No, I'm going to go for where it hurts for the sake of my safety. Because it's either me or you.
Yeah. So
but we don't know the scenario enough.
yes,
We don't.
yes.
And that's why I can't give up my bad.
No,
and that's why I can't give a concrete yeah.
Yeah.
Because one day I'll say yeah, and then that same day I'll go,
yeah.
I don't want to see him go to jail, but it's like I kind of get it.
What I do know is whether it's jail or not jail, he's going to need therapy. He's going to need real intensive
therapy.
clinical work.
I think 3 lives are ruined in this situation.
Yeah.
His life is forever changed.
Yes.
A young man has lost his life for whatever reasons.
Both families.
And his brother. And then both families. Think about the other children who have seen the incident. We don't know how many people saw it. Think about the teachers who poured into these young boys and built connections with them. Think about their other siblings that they've had. Think about your grandma. Like, nobody expects to lose their child either to, a crime, death, a victim of the system. You never expect your child to have such a life-altering experience. So lives have been ruined by the situation regardless on both ends.
Yeah.
And I think what separates us from a lot of our peers as podcasters is having the maturity to understand that we cannot give a clean-cut opinion on the situation yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like to always look at stuff from the mental wellness aspect. That's pretty much the heart of club culture.
True.
And so I like to just teach lessons for the next person that might ever be in that situation. Bullying is never the answer. That's just one for me. You should be able to recognize signs in your child, aggressive signs in your child, especially with them playing sports. I do think that football is one of the worst inventions created when we think about sports. I think it does way too much trauma to the brain for people to keep pushing this sport onto kids.
Yeah. Fuck it.
I can't stand you, Jonesy. I hate you, bro.
No. Put it down.
What you mean, clock it?
Some motherfucking.
I also think that we need to have many conversations with our kids way before they ever get to high school about the realities of the world socially. If you are Black, you cannot claim self-defense. Like, that's just not going to be something you can do and be able to fight a real case.
Especially at school.
Yeah, that's going to be real hard, my boy.
And then, too, we're talking about Texas. What part of Texas is this? Overall
Dallas, southern Dallas.
It's Texas.
Is it
no,
Dallas,
not
Dallas?
southern Dallas, suburban Dallas. That's what I saw in the article.
Those are two different things, because you can be in suburban Chicago and end up in Tinley Park, which is historically racist. So we don't even know the aspects of the hometown that they're in. We don't know how, much he felt impacted by racism. I'm sure a lot, being from Texas and being a Black boy in Texas. There's just so much we don't know that I think everybody should just, let's watch this ride out. Let's ride this out before we send a nigga to jail or don't send a nigga to jail. I feel like this is the closest thing I have seen so far to like a OJ situation, as far as the public's like picking a side so quickly.
Yeah. Black boys are done so bogus when it comes to bullying.
Bogus.
Because you're looked at as like somebody that can defend yourself, which is true in a lot of cases. But when it comes to coming to school, this shouldn't be a place I have to defend myself at.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, it's too many adults around. We're here for school. Like, it should never become that. Now, I ain't turning a blind eye to real life and society and shit. Like, kids got messed up home lives. Cool.
Yeah.
But school itself is a place where it should be kept to a minimum.
And then too, you don't know if it's too many adults around at some schools. Like, we just don't know the income of the school. What is the daily life look like for that school? I mean, shit, in my high school, it was like one teacher for every 30 students. That ain't enough.
It ain't enough.
Like, not every school has a lot of adults. That's why a lot of shit goes under the rug or a lot of shit occurs. Like, there have been so many instances where Black children have shown up going to school and they don't make it home, found rolled up in a fucking wrestling mat or go missing. Like, we don't know the social aspects of this school, this neighborhood, the track team itself, the coaches. There's so many things that can come into play as to how the situation occurred that we don't know why it outcame.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that because I shouldn't have framed it like that. There's too many adults in one place to where that problem should keep continuing.
Explain a little
type
bit.
shit. So like, so like you bring a bullying problem to a teacher, administrative, whatever, just one. I ain't saying the bullying stops there, but there should be measures taken by those adults. Like, all right, maybe on lunch you can come kick it with me. You get a library pass during this, or if the bully in your class, we're gonna change your schedule type shit. Like, that's what I mean when I say there's adults there to like intervene. But no, you right too, because schools are heavily understaffed too.
Heavily understaffed, and then they could be staffing the wrong motherfuckers. Like, I remember I got into a verbal altercation with a girl who called my mama a bitch. Don't even know my mama, first of all. So I don't even know why I took it. Of course, I'm his age. I was 15. I took it offensive. And I remember, like, we was arguing, going back and forth. And the teacher was like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Little girl, had that been me, I would have whooped your motherfucking ass. Now, he shouldn't have said that in front of the whole class, let alone say it at all to somebody else. Because what if I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Bitch, I'm about to beat the fuck out you.
Or maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was a quiet kid in the back of the class that heard that and got fired up.
True.
Now y'all still got y'all problem going on, but you just started a whole nother problem you don't even know about as an administrator. So you gotta
watch, even though you may have a school with a lot of teachers, some of these teachers don't know how to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
It's just so much that we don't know.
Teachers in my school will let you fight.
Yeah, I had plenty of teachers who let us fight. I'll never forget that situation. I told her, I said, now I need you to call one of these girls' mamas a bitch and see what happens. And she did not call none of them girls' mamas a bitch because she know I wasn't the type of person to put my hands on you if you was a woman. So she would try to punk the boys. And I was like, no, call Miriam a bitch right now. Do it right now. If you really about it, if you really that bitch, call her right now.
Them was the worst bullies, bro.
Girls
that knew how to pick
girls who pick
people to bullies.
I can't stand girls who pick on boys, especially the boys they know not gonna put their hands on you. But I was like, nah, I'm finna call you out on your shit. You do not mess with none of these girls like you mess with the boys. Go mess with them. Pick on somebody your own size.
Yeah, my first bully was a girl. And she used to beat the fuck out my ass, bro. Throw me in the garbage cans, like all types of shit. You
probably liked it. I'm playing.
No, we did not like each other at all, bro.
You just took it.
For the first like week or two. And then I got it in my head that, maybe it's okay if you do hit girls. Beat the brakes off her ass.
Well, I was raised.
Not proud of it. Not proud of it at all.
How old were you?
How old are you in kindergarten? 6?
5 or 7?
This was kindergarten?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My introduction to school was with a fucking bully, bro. It got so bad my mom had to come to the school.
Yeah.
So this wasn't no love tap crush shit. Like, this girl hated my ass, huh?
That reminds me of that clip from Bad Girls Club where the girl got into a fight and she cut her mom. She's like, Mama, I just got into a fight and I beat that whole ass. Was that you when you finally hit her back?
Actually, no. Like, so when I finally beat her up, I let the school tell on me because we got caught fighting. That was the only time we ever got caught fighting was when I finally hit her back.
You tell your ass up.
All right, let's wrap up Karmelo's the Karmelo Anthony.
I'm sending prayers to Karmelo and his family. That's all I can say at this situation right now. And
yeah, pretty much the same, man. Watch over the kids.
Who was impacted by this situation.
I will personally be following this case myself as more facts are coming out and the court proceedings are ongoing. The last thing I want to say attached to this before we move on to the next topic is there's a chain in event of things. You have a cause, and then you have an effect, you have an action, and then you have a reaction. just because it's your baby or just because it's your cousin, you still have to rationally acknowledge there was a cause and there was an effect. And we have to attack the root of the cause to know why this effect happened first, right? So let's say hypothetically, these two twins were bullying Karmelo. And he, in fact, felt in danger and he needed to defend himself. Period. That's what it was. That was the cause, was the bullying. The bullying, if that never happened,
exactly,
we don't get to this effect of a life being lost.
Mm-hmm.
In no way and form should students feel like they can just remove people off premises that they do not own.
Right.
You go get an adult if you just feel that passionate about this boy not being here.
White privilege in
you don't just do it yourself. It don't matter what color you look like.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when people try to act like we're being on our
Racially
side.
biased?
Yeah, we're being racially biased. It has nothing to do with that. That's just not something you should do. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want to.
Exactly.
And not expect anything to happen to you. There's a reaction.
Do you think there was a possibility the fact that they felt like they could do that, it was because they were doing it to a black child? Even though this is all still allegedly?
I don't know how they were raised, but I do think that all white people have embedded racism and white supremacy in them that they have to decondition the same way that we have.
Untapped white supremacy?
I think, yeah, when people say all white people are racist, systematically, there's power in racism. That is fucking true.
Yeah, they have
That's
to
true.
decondition
Yes.
themselves from the microaggressions, the way that you want to touch my hair.
Mhm.
You have to decondition yourself and ask yourself, why do I have this urge? Why do I feel this way when I'm around this person?
Mm-hmm.
The same way we have to do the same thing.
Well,
because
yes, exactly.
I don't trust white
we
people.
have to decondition ourselves from some of the traumas that we've experienced for centuries.
Yeah.
And be aware that it wasn't that long ago, y'all.
Yeah. We
It
all
was
got our
not.
hand inside of this white
Yeah.
supremacy pot.
Yeah. I mean, as simple as like the fact that, I mean, as much as Taraji was getting dragged for what she said about the reason black people run away when they start laughing is because they weren't allowed to. There was some truth in that. It was just fuck. I mean, there was truth in that, but the way she said it, I guess, was funny. But like, she wasn't necessarily wrong.
Yeah, that shit
Or
did
like-
sound like a bunch of bug crap though. Like,
Until it was like, oh, it was the way she was like, yeah, bitch, this shit happened. But honestly, it kind of was true. Like, it just expressed-
I've never heard that before.
I didn't
So
know about
that
the
shit
hush
cracked
puppy
me up.
either.
That
Yeah.
shit cracked me up.
It sounds too wild to be true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't believe that hush puppy one though.
I didn't say it was true. I was just like,
Okay.
I heard of it. It kind of sounded like the hush puppy story. I was
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Maybe this is like one of the hush puppy things. Like, did she just find us on a Reddit post?
Yeah, nah, that's one of the ones.
But-
I'm like, all right, bro.
All right, let's move on, y'all.
Yeah.
Cornmeal, bro, for real.
Okay. So we got some TikTok topics.
Yeah.
And I know that's your home, so I'm gonna need you to hold us down with this one.
Let's
Hell
do it.
yeah.
There was a conversation online.
Can you do the uptown, downtown?
I sure can. Several times.
There was a conversation online where I don't know where it stems. So I hope you do, because it was hard for me to try to trace back where did this topic become trending on TikTok to talk about. But the conversation was, why aren't black men going to college? Why aren't they in college at
Mhm.
nearly at the rate that one, black
Yeah.
people are, and then two, just people that all go to college?
It was a news article from what I remember.
Okay.
An actual study that showed that black men are attending at a lower rate than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And basically from that, it became, we don't hold our black boys accountable enough. And then a lot of black men were surprisingly blaming it on being gay,
Okay.
like blaming it on the gays as the reason they didn't, or them saying, oh, college isn't for me. I was raised like seeing like people make more money, not going to college, starting businesses and hustling, or being dropouts and just not working out. So it just led to a debate within our own community as to why this is a true statistic.
Mm-hmm.
And people have their different opinions as to why, but I think a large portion as to why this is true is financial.
Okay.
And I just think that motherfuckers are scared to pick up a bunch of loans and then people aren't educating our children enough that there are ways to get through college without killing your credit, picking up loans, prioritizing your grades, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the game I be needing.
It sparked a conversation for me personally about, the difference between young black straight kids and young black gay kids.
Mm-hmm.
and how the gay kids, we just have a certain, gay men specifically have a certain hustle to them that isn't necessarily seen as early as our straight counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, y'all went home after school and y'all played the game. Or y'all went to school and systematically you were made to think that you only had to focus on sports and athletics. Whereas us being some faggies and queens, we stayed in the books. We stayed with a side job. We stayed working, you know, just to do what we had to do because we were not as enabled as a lot of our straight black counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't.
Okay.
Like, I just wasn't.
This is about a 50-50 ignorant informative question.
Okay.
Would you say you look at education? Do you think you value education the same way a black woman does?
Me or
you? Like speaking from your personal experience, like how you took to school. Yeah. What you think it mirrors, like maybe if your mom was like a scholar or something?
She was.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say so. I mean, I come from a 3 generations of teachers. You know what I'm saying? However, me and my cousin of the same bloodline, same generation,
mm-hmm.
I have 2 degrees, and my cousin is yet to attend a college course. And the difference between me and him, one of the stark differences is I'm gay and he's straight.
Okay. I don't know if I asked my question right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did.
Are you asking, do you think gay men value education the same way as black women do?
Right.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fair.
I see where you're going with that question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I was going nowhere. I just wanted to hear like what was his take on it.
A similar one?
No. I would like for us to stop the cap. That's what I would like for us to fucking do.
God.
That Twitter conversation, it didn't bother me,
mm-hmm.
but I come from having many women, female relationships, platonic.
Okay.
And I was always the negative Nancy to them when I would tell them how hard their dating life would be because I know the type of man that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And statistically, we don't have many of that in the population pool of black men because my friends they want to be with a black man. Black women want to be with black men.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And unfortunately, they want an educated black man.
Okay. Not a lot of us.
They want a black man that makes a certain amount of income, meaning I'll say at least 60 and up.
Right.
60,000 and up. And they want someone that has some type of emotional intelligence, or they believe in mental wellness, or they're actively just working on just mental wellness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at least they also want to be married. Those women also want to be married.
Right.
Now, so these are women you know in your personal life?
Yes. These have all been very close friends since we were middle school to now. Okay. And I've always been the one that was realistic in the room. Y'all not gonna get them niggas.
I'm dead.
y'all gonna have a hard time getting them
positive.
Niggas. And they would be mad at me because they would be like, you're privileged because you're a lesbian and you are pretty much in control over you getting a woman that you want more than we are. And I'm like, okay, cool. Even if that is the case.
Hey, they cook though.
Even if that is the case, y'all still not gonna get them niggas y'all want, and that's the issue.
You definitely got to find which. You definitely got to make some sacrifice. You're gonna have to
make some sacrifices. Is what I was trying to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And they always wanted this because I know a lot of girls, especially high school, middle school, young adult age, they want a YN.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about. I don't have no women like that in my life.
We ain't talking about
no.
But let's not act like that. Like there's not.
We not talking about those women.
Yeah,
we not talking about those women.
I agree with you.
And a lot of times, those educated black men don't get the same attention that their YN counterpart. I hate to say that term, but you know what I'm saying. That their counterparts receive until they're older in age, because the women that they're going for have also matured.
I think my friends also had to have a hard pill to swallow because they know a lot of men that are black, educated, and into the shit that they want them to be into, they don't like them as much either because
they deem them as gay.
They're too feminine, or they're too they're not as masculine as they want them to be.
Exactly.
And they kind of corny. They're lame and corny.
Ain't no flavor to them.
And what makes them lame and corny? The fact that they are taking care of their mental health, getting education.
It just ain't no flavor.
No, you can do it with flavor. I'm one of them niggas. Okay. I didn't go search for education and completely allow white supremacy to change the way that I talk, my dialect. When I go into my meetings with my coworkers that are white as fuck, I do not change the way that I talk. I just taught my.
So I think we have to explore the
Yeah,
analytical.
nah.
You ain't know, hey, Jen.
No.
Take a look at our
I am
statistics.
being dead ass. I have friends that will tell y'all because they've been on calls muted while they listen to me talk before I go back talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm the exact same way. I just taught my managers what OG was. No, not OG. We was looking at some strains that were in Cali, some cannabis strains. But what is it? Loud Pack. It's a company in Cali called Loud Pack, and we were trying to. I think it had something to do with the company I work for. And I had to let them know what loud mean. They didn't know what the fuck that meant. It was like I have multiple.
Hi, T, can you tell us like a loud pack? What does that mean? I'm sure you
That is
know.
funny.
You smoke, right?
Yeah, no. So there's a way for you to liberate yourself from Black trauma, educate yourself, reach higher learning, and still remain grounded in Black culture.
You
That's
can
very
stay
true.
Black.
You can stay Black.
I
very
got
true.
this thing where like I'm trying to disrespect somebody on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just found out you was Black in 2016.
Ooh.
That's how a
When
lot of
Beyonce
people be
dropped
sounding to
Lemonade,
me like,
everybody's like,
yeah, bro,
I'm
you
Black.
just
And so is Beyonce.
got you some lemonade braids and some, you know what I'm saying? You just found out you was Black. Yeah,
But I
like,
think media plays a big part into it too, because you don't see a you in everyday media consumption. We don't.
man, people need
We
to
don't.
appreciate themselves.
That's why I
That's
appreciated
it, bro.
TV shows like A Different World.
Because a lot of those people, like the corny people that got their shit together, they lack identity.
They do.
You ask them where they from, they don't really got no home. They don't got no long-term friends. All they know is like books and whatever else they watch on TV. So you turn into this version of yourself that's not rooted in the identity.
Very
you lose
true.
all your flavor.
And they don't like where they came from too. Like
That too.
there's a lot
Exactly.
of trauma in us being Black.
Mhm.
Period.
Being
you don't-
successful doesn't mean you have to become anti-Black.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there are a large portion of us who do hold that as true. And it's like, no, you don't have to abandon your Blackness to get your degree.
Our listeners might ask, what does this have to do with Black men not going to college? So I'm gonna try to
Yeah, tie it in
loop
for us
tie it
because
in.
we is
Loop
getting
back in.
out.
I think that there was a lot of cap and a lot of pacifying and takes that people were trying to give for why Black men aren't going to college. A lot of it does have to do with finances.
Right.
But I always revert back to same with Black women. But yeah, we go to college the most out of all demographics.
Out of all, yes, correct.
And so what is let's really get to it. Let's fuck the money. Because yes, we all have that issue. We all come from low income families.
We broke.
We're broke.
We broke as fuck.
Okay, so let's skip past that and let's get to the social economical.
Well, it's always been true though. This is not a new statistic. Black men have
has
always
always
gone at a lower
Yes.
rate than our female counterparts. The reason I'm saying maybe it's now at its lowest is because the economy is really bad right now. And we don't glamorize college like we used to our children.
I want to get to the root. Why weren't they going then? Before we even get to now,
And
because
that's a better question. That I think the question is now. Well, I'm like, well, the only difference is now is the economy is fucked up, and we don't glamorize school as much. Whereas back in the day, we've never had that. We've never had this question asked. So those are two different questions. It's why are they not going at a lower rate than ever, compared to why have they never gone as much as Black as their female counterparts. So I think you're trying to answer the second question as to why has this always been true.
I think we have to answer that one first before we get to now. Because
Right,
I think,
right.
again, chain of events, action, reaction.
I think I unfortunately answered the first one because I was truly
Focus
focusing
on the now.
now.
Yes.
But let's talk about it. I mean, parents, I think, love their kids, love their sons, and raise their daughters. I think that statement is very true in a lot of households. You see a lot of enabling, a lot of boys will be boy rhetoric going on in the Black households, whereas your daughter can't do this, your daughter can't have a life, she gotta be on her shit. Because if you educate a woman, especially a Black woman, you are going to educate her family. She's gonna spread that knowledge. I don't know why we don't hold our boys to the same accountability as our girls.
And I'm going to speak to that because it's like you said, like women are raised and boys are loved. And that's how a lot of shit behavior gets enabled.
True.
through
That's very
men.
true. And I'm
losing my thought. Keep going, Dupree.
I just appreciate the fact that my parents didn't do that shit, especially my mama. She was like, I'm not your friend. You are my son. You are not the man of the house. You will focus on your grades. The minute my grade slip, whatever extracurricular I was in, I'm skipping out. I had to skip out for that week. My drama coaches made sure that if your grades were not up to par, they were going to let your parents know, and you cannot come into rehearsal at that time. And we have rehearsal every day. You miss a day of rehearsal, your ass is in trouble. That's why I really value the arts, because I personally feel like, from my experience, the arts disciplines you on a whole nother level as a human being, not just as a student. Because if you had a D for that week, you only got a week to bring that D back up. So you've missed rehearsal now for an entire week. I didn't see that happening at the football teams, the baseball teams at my school. The coaches were not holding the students as accountable to focus on their grades like they were holding us accountable as actors.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought me back to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's this thing, I think I want to use stigma, that it's easier to raise boys, so you focus more on the girls, and then you don't focus as much on the boys. And that's how they end up getting in bullshit. That's how bullshit behavior gets enabled, like all that good shit. Or bad shit, I should say.
Because you raise your son to lack emotional intelligence.
Lack a lot
of emotional awareness. It's like you want a robot, essentially.
A caveman. It's more like a caveman.
Yeah.
You got clothes on your back. You got food. You got a crib. We got you in this sport to run around. Cool. But with my girl, this is how you're going to talk to people. This is why school is important, because you're going to go to school and do this and blah, blah, blah. And the boy, you breathing, you food, you not bleeding, cool. And you don't know, that's a terrible way to raise someone. I don't even think you're getting raised at that point.
No, I don't like the misconception that girls are being raised, though. Because although conversations sometimes happen with the women about how to talk, how to maneuver, what you should and shouldn't do, the things that we are also being taught are positive reinforcements, things that we should take it to the real world.
Right.
That's where you get the angry black woman trope from, because you're telling us to be obedient most of the time and not to go against the grain, when a lot of the shit in this world we need to be going against. And so you pretty much are conditioning us to silence ourselves when we go into these spaces of higher learning, places that they don't want us to be, but we keep forcing ourselves in. And while we're doing so, we're also trying to make sure that we're not overstepping too much.
Right.
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I just wanted to put that out there, because that is very common for us to talk about how boys are raised, how girls are raised. And sometimes it feels like, it seems like you think that the girls were just raised so much better when we were being raised, but we were given some terrible tools as well.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying there's a lot of shit that a parent will let their son do that they would not let their daughter do. Period. And that's not even just a black thing. I think that's just a human thing. But we talking about our experience right now. Like, if your son was having sex at 15, a lot of parents would see that as normal. But if your daughter was having sex at that same age, all hell would be raised.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Now I think about it, the only friend that I had growing up, male friend that I had growing up, that had strict parents, he had a sister. Like, all my guy friends, we ain't had strict parents.
Did you have sisters?
No.
Oh. What do you think is the correlation for that?
2 of them had sisters. Only one of them was their parents was strict. Bro had chores. He couldn't come outside till 12, 1 in the afternoon. Whereas us, we still couldn't come outside till 12, but we ain't had no chores. That house got clean. Don't get it twisted.
Mama did.
No.
Who did it?
Nigga, us, bro. You ain't have to.
So y'all just didn't have to be assigned chores.
Right, we ain't have to be assigned chores, but it's like them niggas was on some. If all of their chores wasn't done, they wasn't coming outside. I could leave my bed messy and still go outside, but I ain't want to be no messy kid. After a while.
I want to speak to the sports part that you brought up, because that is very key into why a lot of black men don't go to college or are equipped to even go to college academically. They aren't. They aren't being taught to use education as a vehicle to get to school for a cheaper price. They're told to use athletics to get to school.
Right.
And so they're not they're not in these classrooms trying to make sure they have over a 2.3, 2.5 GPA just to play
sports. Which is very
sports.
fucking low, and I feel like the standard overall should be raised.
They was gonna kill Coach Carter over there.
Right. I hate
They
that.
spit on Coach Carter because he asked him to have a 2.3.
I have a fucking C average.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just feel like, newsflash, baby, the chances of your son getting a full ride for academics are higher than him getting a full ride for being the next Kobe Bryant.
That is true.
That's true.
I went to school for academics. I didn't go to school for athletics.
I know.
So how you get the hoop though? Like you tried out and all that
No,
good shit?
I was there recruited to play for them. It was a D3 school, so you don't get athletic scholarships. But I had the scholarships that I was able to tap into is because of my academics. I had the highest award letter at that school for a student.
Yeah.
Okay, text me your thing. Your thing. They doing your thing. Like, yay.
On the 21st,
Yo,
baby.
damn, what are
I
they
knew what
doing,
you was
bro?
talking about.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I
I'm
knew
gonna say
what
you
you was
doing
talking about.
something,
The
yeah.
thing, yeah, the thing, man.
The 21st, baby.
That thing, man.
Damn, we talking about
Yeah,
education.
something great happening, bro.
Shit,
Text me that shit
you
so I can put it
supposed
on
to
my
know.
calendar.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just we fuck up a lot, especially with our kids.
Athletics wasn't even getting banked like that at first, and like athletes weren't even making money professionally.
No.
the way that they are today.
No.
So I need to travel in history and figure out when did that start to become a thing where you're pushing your son to be the ticket.
I would say 80s and 90s.
It had to have been
Because
around.
like when both my grandfathers were like teenagers and young adults, they wasn't making serious bank in the NBA like that, like in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm. They weren't. They had
No.
to have two jobs.
Yeah, even in the WWE, them niggas wasn't making the money that they making now.
Yeah.
Niggas was struggling. Bret Hart was broke. Shit.
I'm surprised. I'm not even gonna hold
Yeah,
you, gang.
yeah, them
I'm
niggas-
surprised you know who Bret Hart is.
What?
I'm for
Bro, I'm
real.
the biggest WWE fan. More
I
so,
would have never guessed that.
I
would have
wouldn't
never
never
guessed
no.
that. That's a hidden gem. I've seen like SmackDown live.
Mm-hmm.
Like all I watch
you
is
live
Total
my
Divas.
dream.
I just watched the WrestleMania 9 documentary on Peacock. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
I sometimes
What?
contemplate like, damn, I should have got into wrestling because essentially it's theater.
Mhm.
You're performing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm naturally athletic. Like I did do sports. It's
Yeah.
just my grades had to be at the part still.
Yeah.
Like I'm
I
very
hate to
athletic.
deviate so much from the thing,
No.
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah.
but I'm mad I'll never. There's a part of my inner childhood that I'll never get to heal again because I found out wrestling was fake.
Mm.
And I found out before I got to go to a wrestling event.
Mm.
It's not fake because
It-
there's still
nah,
those bumps
bro.
are real, bro.
They
Like,
are. They
those
definitely
hits
throw
do
themselves
hurt.
around.
It's the rehearsed hit. You know
I
how
can't, bro.
You know how much of a man you got to be to take a rehearsed hit? I'd rather be a real fighter than to like, I got to practice getting hit by this nigga. And this shit is going to hurt no matter how safe it is. That's a lot of heart.
Dude, I
Come
just
on,
couldn't
damn.
watch it.
And
the
you got to make
same.
the shit look like you didn't rehearse it.
I
On top
just
of it, it
couldn't.
still hurts.
I just
like-
couldn't. That shit broke my
I
heart,
respect
bro.
wrestling
I'm
so
like,
much.
what?
But I get what you're saying. It's like
Nah.
Santa Claus wrestling.
I
Like
was,
now, somebody would have to
Mhm.
gift me tickets for me to go.
I was
I wouldn't
always
spend my money on it.
fascinated
I feel
by how quickly they can make it seem like they're bleeding.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
never was able to pick up the
little razor. It's
yeah,
all in the angle too.
yeah.
So that's real blood.
Nah, some of
Yeah.
it is fake.
No, I mean some of it yes, but they use a razor.
So
And
they actually scratch themselves.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
See,
real.
I gotta
That's
do
what I'm
that.
saying. It's real. Like they're putting their bodies on the line for the sake of your entertainment. That's why I respect it so much because it just resonates with me as an actor. And then a lot of them are the wrestlers you see are really the 10% of the crop who make it a full time, income.
Mhm.
Like I know I went to school with a wrestler. Shout out to Nigel. He just got his first, I think, NXT contract. If you're watching,
Okay.
Gee.
yeah.
Could you imagine cutting yourself to like sell your
Just-
performance to the
Yeah,
audience
that's real.
and having to
blood.
go clock in at Walgreens the next day because you
And
don't
then
make
get paid
enough?
in a hot dog. It's a hustle. I love wrestling.
Hell no.
We gotta watch SmackDown one day.
We
You know,
can't-
black women are like at the forefront right now.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes,
black
yeah.
women killing it in
we had
wrestling.
black-
now.
We had a black woman, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They main evented Wrestle fucking Mania.
I didn't have that growing up.
No,
I
I
was deep into wrestling.
we
with
had
my
Alicia
cousin.
Fox growing up, and that was it.
See,
And then we had Naomi at some
Oh
point in
yeah,
time.
you was
This
yeah,
nigga
you
was
after
deeper.
me.
Yeah.
He's deeper into it than I was.
We had Alicia Fox, Naomi, and maybe Layla, depending on who you asked if she was black or not. But
Mhm.
like
We
to
had-
see black women like be the highest paid and main event is so heartwarming to me.
We had Jacqueline,
We had Jacqueline,
and I can't remember who the other
Jazz.
one was. It was two of them. Yeah,
Jacqueline and Jazz.
it was Jacqueline and somebody.
Jacqueline was like the first women's champ for
Mhm.
WWE, black women's champ for WWE. Yeah, they historically they have been really racist.
Damn, you really like this shit.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
wrestling was fire, bro.
I'm impressed.
If I was watching Total Divas right before I left the house.
No, I really am impressed because like
Yeah.
I like wrestling, but I know it's way more wrestling geeks than I ever was.
I'm telling you now, if this acting shit doesn't take off,
you gonna get into
You
it.
gonna get in the ring?
I am.
I will support you.
Thank you.
I love unique like
Yeah.
shit I've never seen people do, but I
Yeah.
just know that that's possible to go do.
Mhm.
I would severely support you. I'll be at almost every wrestling match.
I would love that. I would probably gonna get my ass whooped.
Yes.
Because I'm very small for my gender.
Yeah.
So I would have to be a high flyer
Mhm.
to really pull some shit off.
The gay Rey Mysterio.
I was
No, we
just
have-
gonna
we
say
have-
that.
no,
I was just
We already
gonna
have
say
it. Like,
that.
the good thing is they're so progressive, and I hope they never like be conservative again. Like they have men wrestling women now. Gay men wrestle a lot with women, especially like AEW, a little bit here in WWE.
Mhm.
But like we have black gay wrestlers. I can't remember the boy's name, but he's like a very good wrestler. But because he's so small, he had to wrestle with the women.
Mm.
He can
Okay.
keep up with the men too, but it's just not as realistic.
Dupree, you really a geek, bro. That's awesome.
fucking geek.
Yeah.
bro.
I like that.
I love
yeah.
wrestling. Like I have to meet Naomi or Bianca Belair or Sasha.
So we
before.
went viral talking about our top 3 wrestling finisher moves of all time.
Yeah, where was Dupree for that?
I wasn't here.
Can I get yours? Just quickly.
My top, I can give you my top one straight off the back of my head. The axe kick. Black
Okay.
wrestlers are historically known to like give a great back of the neck axe kick, like Booker T's finisher. If you ever seen that.
Is that just the sweet chin music kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. It's like their opponent is coming up and then you like bah the back of
Okay.
their neck, and that was Alicia Fox's finisher. But she got it from Booker T, so that's like a historic black finisher.
Mhm.
That is my favorite of all time. I'll give you just one for now.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm really into like women's wrestling. So like
Yeah.
I really loved the Trish kick, the Bella Twins, Bella Bump, which is like a basic kick and you just bring your opponent's head down to the floor. But yeah, also sharpshooter. Oh my God, fucking Brett, the Hart family.
Okay.
Sharpshooter is always the
Damn,
supreme.
man.
I
You
like
think
when
you
Rikishi put his ass in people's face.
Rikishi's, yeah, that was very campy.
Did
but
y'all like
was-
the Boogeyman? Or was that just me?
That's just
Boogeyman was
you.
cool, but as a kid, he scared the shit out of me because I
That's
hated
just you.
worms.
That's just me.
I didn't like the I call them vanity wrestlers.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the ones that did too much, like Vincera.
But
like,
Rikishi's was kind of vanity.
Rikishi was borderline. It was-
ass in your face is not gonna whoop somebody's ass in real life.
But Too Cool made like it normalized Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
Too Cool normalized
I
him.
feel
If Rikishi was just by himself, that would have been some weird shit.
Very true.
But Scotty Too Hottie and the other dude kind of like,
Yeah.
alright, bro,
Balance each other
weird, but
out,
he's
yeah.
still cool.
Did you like Kofi Kingston?
Yeah.
R-Truth? Like I love
love
anybody
Kofi
black.
That
I
might
got
be
to see
after I
R-Truth
stopped
live.
watching.
He's a
I'm a
I would
little
say
younger,
probably for you.
yeah.
Kofi.
Yeah, I want to say I stopped watching right before they did like SmackDowns on Thursday, and then they always did that when they did the draft.
SmackDown used to be Friday.
SmackDown used to be
'cause They would
Friday.
film it on Thursday. SmackDown wasn't live for the longest time.
Yeah, right before they did that Raw draft and
first draft.
SmackDown draft. That's when I stopped watching.
Got you. Well, yeah. Random side note.
Yeah,
Loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Thank
I
you.
like
That was
talking
fire.
about nerdy,
Yeah.
non-popular, but yet it's popular in our world shit.
And type shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like watching certain podcast clips where they talk about nerdy stuff, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could talk about that on a pod, but we too serious
Ooh, we
sometimes.
have
But
to-
like,
we gotta have
Yeah.
a Talks with T wrestling edition. We need to
Yeah,
get you back
man.
into Raw because you would love it because there's so many dope black women,
Mhm.
especially killing it.
And they fine
Jade, oh my God, that woman will turn me out.
because
Okay.
They are fine. I will say
Jacqueline, I
that.
love
if
you.
I was to ever get a pass,
A
Jade,
straight
would-
pass.
a straight pass,
All right.
Jade, Bianca Belair.
Now who is that on?
See, they
Who?
switched-
No. Who gives you a straight pass? Like, is this something you would choose or
think
the
the
woman
girl,
would choose?
yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
she'll have to come up to you and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I know you gay, but
Mhm.
okay,
We were just talking about how like a lot of straight people watch LGBTQ porn,
right."
but a lot of us don't watch straight porn. At
us
least I don't.
me,
Us as in the rainbow.
got you.
Do you watch straight porn?
No,
I don't either, but I do know there are a lot of women in my life who like to watch gay and lesbian porn.
So a woman can turn you out.
Well, no,
if
I don't know. It has to be the right woman. I
Okay.
don't know. You just got to be like, I don't know. I just got to like it. I'm more so attracted to masculinity, so you just have to have
So Queen Latifah got to come.
No. No. Next question. Next topic, y'all.
Hey, it's a couple of more hot topics I want to skim through quickly because it all reverts back to this black man not going to college thing. So Yosan,
Yeah.
Yosan, G Herbo and Ari's child, says that for his birthday, he wants everyone to stop calling him a YN.
I fuck with that.
And call him a YM.
Yeah.
A young man.
Yeah.
I thought that was beautiful. I love seeing kids show that they have intellect because, you know, adults don't respect kids and their intellect sometimes.
They don't let it shine.
And what's so crazy is a lot of people that's calling him a YN or just calling kids or whoever YNs are people our age, people that are older. It's not people their age.
Yeah,
they're
I don't
not
like
going around
that.
saying that.
I don't like that at all. Like I ain't too against the term itself, YN, but it shouldn't be labeled for any young person.
Any young
like,
black man. Like,
yeah,
no,
bro. Like that
nigga.
young nigga that's in computer science, bro. Just because he listen to YTB Fat, don't make him a YN.
Or just because I got on a hoodie and some black
And a
jeans.
ski mat, it's cold
I'm like,
outside.
Bitch, it's cold.
Yeah.
Now them
It's
kids that
unfortunate.
are wearing that's finna come rob you. Yeah, those are YNs, 100%.
And they're probably not even calling themselves YNs because they don't think they're too young now.
Exactly.
Do they? Yeah.
So
love
yeah, I
that,
don't like
though.
it.
I say what you want about. I really don't like to talk about people's parenting skills, but I do like the way that they, you know, let yo son. Hope I'm saying his name right. Like be him. Like I've never seen a clip of G Herbo Ari, you know, telling him stop crying, be a man, stop being a punk. Like I like the fact that they let him express his emotions.
Yeah.
Have range. Like the media will try it because there was an era where they were like, yo son hanging around with Tay and the other best friend too much. Cause you know, he had like some flamboyant clips going around, but they kids. Like I hate how they do
Jada
Waiter's son for real. But I don't never see Jada Waiter or they daddy do that to them. That's why I really have like a soft spot in my heart for Nepo babies. Because one day they're gonna see the scrutiny they were under when they were children, if they haven't already seen it. And I just wonder how that will impact them as adults.
Yeah.
Like there was a story about me that I don't even remember. My grandma told me, she was like, yeah, we were at a fashion show for you as a kid. And like you were walking down the runway and you just heard, me and your mom just heard a bunch of people saying, that made no damn sense. It's obviously because I was walking. I liked America's Next Top Model as well. So it's just crazy to know like my earliest forms of homophobia were shown to me as a kid. And that was like fucking with me. I'm like, damn, I've been dealing with this shit my whole life, even before I even knew it. Could you imagine how that fucks with you as magnetized as like thousands of people having a comment on how you looked as a kid, how you acted as a kid? Like it feels like exploitation.
Yeah.
But then you should want, people should be able to show off their kids and not have their kids be victims of like so much bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we got Yosan here being the ambassador of YMs, bro.
Shout out to Yosan.
And I'm
Shout
fucking
out.
with that, bro.
Shout
We
out
calling
to
them
that young
YMs now, bro.
Why young men?
Young men,
Yes,
bro.
yes. And shout out to, I love Ari, unpopular opinion.
I was the party pooper with one of my friends. We was playing Call of Duty, and we started talking about YN. I was just talking about how much I hated that was a thing.
Yeah, I just said it. I
During
said, I
Call
hate
of
that I even
Duty,
said that
bro.
word.
Yes, bro.
There's a time and place for everything, T.
I don't know why we was somebody. I think she had called somebody a YN, or we was watching a TikTok.
Was
I'm
she
like, man,
black?
and I just hate
Okay.
that. I hate that YN shit. I just hate it. I'm glad that your son can try to, you feel me, get
Yeah,
us.
man,
Get
we
us
got to get behind him, bro.
Yeah, these kids is really smart.
Yeah.
These new babies coming out, they didn't have to been here before.
I think YN is like the media way to call niggas.
Without saying nigga.
Yeah,
niggas.
it's like the new way.
I mean, the word is in the term.
Yeah.
just
Young
like in the
nigga.
corporate world, DEI is the new nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
Fuck Target.
Yeah.
Now, if you show me a video of some kids that's dressed like a YN for, new article context, cool. But bro, they like anime that also dress and drip ain't a YN too, bro.
Why is it I'm a YN why I wear a ski mask and a hoodie, but a white nigga do it? It's just a teenager dressing like
Yeah,
a
like he ain't a school shooter. Like we
Right.
can't call him that. We can't call him SS's.
Next topic.
We can't.
Yeah. So the last two topic that I want to touch on that's very recent is Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy is ordered to pay $4 million in a sexual assault case.
Oh,
He was found liable for sexual assault.
wow.
he went on live and he said that there's an attack on rich black men. He also said he's one of the sexiest men alive. But that's not why we're here.
Pay up, nigga, and shut up. Next.
So he also was bagging on Blueface because Blueface also had charges.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically trying to, aha, nigga.
Did Blueface beat those charges? Don't they not like each other?
Yeah, they don't like each other. No, I don't think he beat those charges. I will have to look that up. Do not take my word for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Blueface is in jail right now.
yes,
He did not beat those charges.
I don't think he's in jail for that. I think he's in jail for something else.
You know how fucked up that is that you in jail for something else that you trending for something else? Like, what the fuck? Look, I just hate headlines like this because at the end of the day, somebody is a victim.
Yes.
And we giving more light to Soulja Boy than giving light to the justice that the victim. I mean, justice can only do so much. Like, the shit still happened to him.
Before I become the diction police, let me look up the definition of victim.
You said the who police?
Victim.
Diction police.
Diction.
Yes, word
Okay.
choice.
The definition of victim. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Diction is that means word choice.
No, I fuck with it.
A victim is a person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of crime, accident, or other event or action.
So sexual assault, you would have had to harm somebody, right? So is this person not a victim who won the case against Soulja Boy?
Yes. I personally get the ick when I call people that have survived victims. I like to call them survivors instead.
Oh, okay.
Because, and then it also is like, it's like you're currently having to defend yourself if you're a victim. When I say that you've survived it, that means that I'm acknowledging that that did happen to you.
Right.
So I would rather call them survivors of assault, survivors of domestic violence instead of victims of it.
Okay.
That's just my personal choice.
Okay,
Yeah,
I fuck with that.
I like it. I was just going, but the general public might.
You scared the hell out of me at first.
No,
Yeah, me
I
too.
just
I was like,
no.
dang,
That's what I
I'm
meant.
like, hold on.
Talking about the bitch got the money, so she should be good. I'm like,
Why would
no.
she dress like that?
That's why.
Oh, God.
That's why I prefaced. I didn't want to be
Okay.
addiction police. But
You
this
were
is-
making me a little nervous. I was
You
like,
scared the hell out of
I'm
me.
I like
sorry.
you. I
I'm
like
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry, but Soulja Boy, when he had said that there's an attack on rich black men, right?
Right.
That's very common for anyone to say in our community, specifically black men.
Right.
Mhm.
My retort is, do you think that you are an easy target for why this is so common for black men to say about themselves?
Said, do I think, like, from my personal pocket?
Broad, you can speak, you can answer it, but this is just a general question for black men or anyone.
You know what? You are an easy target
Why?
because you're only an easy target if they can see your success because they want the money and whatever the fuck, right? So you are a target, but it's on you to shield yourself from as much bullshit as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, hope this isn't too ignorant, but I feel like when
What's
it
your
comes to
favorite word
like
today?
sex crimes, there's preludes to it. Like somebody DM somebody, y'all had a friendship or a relationship or something, and you end up in a situation where you could even be alleged of some bullshit. Now, I'm not saying in every situation the man is wrong or right.
Yeah.
Because a woman could very much so be on some, I'm trying to really fuck with you.
Mhm.
Y'all link up. She want to blackmail you for rape. That happens just as much as man goes out, find woman he want to fuck with, uses his money and success as a lure, bring her in and be on some bullshit. I feel like both of those happen.
Mm-hmm.
So are you
Wouldn't
an
say
easy?
as much, but definitely happens.
Yeah, both happens. So are you an easy target? Yeah, but something has to happen in between
Well, we were
to
just
lead up to the situation that puts you in harm's way.
okay.
That's what I
Okay.
was getting at.
I have a question for you before we get to you, Dupree.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Do you think that black men are interested in things that make them easy targets, like sex, bitches, money, hoes,
Oh, yeah.
sports?
100%.
Who isn't interested in
It's like you're an
sex,
easy
and
bitches,
target, but
money,
you
and
don't make
sports,
it
though?
hard on yourself to get
Yes.
access.
Are you not
to.
interested in sex, bitches, and money?
No. I'm
N-
currently interested in bitches.
So you're not
But-
interested in money.
Money is always a thing, but I am interested in getting money as clean as possible.
Right.
I don't want to get my hands as dirty.
Right. I'm not. That's not what I was
I'm
saying.
talking about. I want to make sure I say this correctly because I don't want more people like Dupree to act like, well, everybody is. I'm talking about the type of bitches. The type of, because if I bring you, if you are in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a caricature right now of something that I know is, if I put this in front of a black man, like, you know how they say you put you in a room with Mekhi Phifer or Morris Chestnut, she gonna fold.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think of who to put this black man in a room with, and they might fold.
You could put in a pocket pussy in the room. They're going to fold.
I want Jonesy
That
to
is
give.
so sad.
I want Jonesy to be the
Mekhi
one to
Phifer and a
give. What
pocket
do you
pussy.
think? If I put this in a room with black men, they gonna fold. I'm not giving it. I want Jonesy to give that.
So can we give context on the type of black man? Because I don't want to generalize all of us.
I think that if
Can we
you
generalize him as a rapper?
No.
Okay.
I think we should generalize someone that is less that has the common education level as most Americans, adult Americans.
Okay.
Because I think that plays a part into why you are such a target.
Right.
Because you don't have an education system beyond the 6th grade level.
Okay.
I would also say someone that is motivated by materialism.
Okay.
And I'll just give those two.
Oh yeah, this is easy, bro. Let's run down the list. Goddamn women. Don Julio.
What types of women? Because
Any.
Okay.
Literally any.
Okay. Okay.
A huge
don't like
spectrum
women.
wide of women. Don Julio, a PS5, 2K, a Glock. Not just any gun. It has to be a Glock. A
Fresh
Hellcat.
11s.
Goddamn who?
Fresh 11s.
Fresh 11. Fresh 11s, bro. A Chicago nigga, fresh white ones.
Red 11s, my
Definitely the breads.
This is so sad. This is funny, but this is fucked
I
up.
feel like Uncle Ruckus right now.
Oh, Lord.
A do-rag.
A bape jacket.
Black and mild.
Black and mild.
A Harold 6-piece fried hard.
Yeah. Goddamn a balcony suite in Vegas.
Bedding.
A butterhead.
A beer.
Okay, let's stop because I don't want us to seem like we are.
This feels very
fresh sweet
jigaboo
twist.
coonish.
But I see this.
Full beard.
I always come to perspective of, yes, the media paints us a certain way. We also give them brushes and paint for them to try to create a painting. They don't just come up with it just because they want that to be the painting. Sometimes they grab from some shit.
100%.
White people aren't saying YN for no reason. We started it, and we allowed them to feel like they're okay to say it.
Yeah, because it's funny.
And yes,
we give too many passes on our culture.
yes. And so when we talk about our black men targets, rich black men targets, yes.
Yes.
Do you make it easy to be one? Yes.
And that's what I was getting at.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember what I was saying about being aware at the age of 10. There are certain things that if I do and my white counterpart does it, the consequences for me are often greater.
Like self-defense.
Yes.
Claiming
So,
self-defense.
I think the reason a lot of us in our community uphold our successful black men to such a high, we praise them essentially, is because we know systematically they weren't supposed to be in the position that they're in. But just because you get in that position, if you're doing some fuck shit with your power, you still need to be held accountable. That's why I hate free Diddy, free R. Kelly. Ooh, I almost said the third one. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, don't.
Yep. But it breaks a lot of our hearts, not me specifically, but a lot of people in our community's hearts to see the downfall of the men we looked up to.
Yeah.
Even though we all know OJ killed that lady, it was the fact that he was so prestige and had so much influences, and essentially these are the royal family of black communities.
Allegedly.
To see their downfall, a lot of us kind of tend to turn a blind eye to the shit that caused their downfall.
Yeah.
Yes, Diddy was a very talented producer. He still did some fucked up shit.
I don't know what Diddy was doing in them studios. I'm sorry.
Look,
I
y'all
can't
know what
speak
I'm
to his
saying.
talent. But keep going.
I
Keep
love the Cosby Show. But some people, a whole lot of women are saying this nigga did some shit to me. Hell, even fucking Terrence Howard is coming out with his Diddy story.
And we can use that as a segue.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard, he recently did an interview on the PBD podcast.
PBD.
It was a quick, short segment at the very end of the episode where he did talk about when a man loses his manhood, that is it. You only get one. And once you lose it, you cannot get it back. And he went on a tangent quickly to talk about if he had any interactions with P. Diddy. And he said, yes, P. Diddy wanted to fuck me. And I stopped contact from P. Diddy after that became clear.
Well, his assistant said that P. Diddy wanted to fuck him.
Yes.
Terrence Howard was like, okay, Diddy is flying me out for acting classes as well as me helping him with his music. But when we meet up, he does nothing but stare at me. And so from that interaction, his assistant made the assumption that I think Diddy wants to fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
So Diddy never fucked Terrence Howard, never said that he wanted to. And I'm not defending Diddy, but I want to give full context to this story. So from that recount, he said that he wasn't going to risk his manhood ever for anybody, let alone Diddy. And if anybody ever tries to talk to him like a woman, he's decking them in the face because I'm just not risking my manhood for any success in this industry. He's never done a gay role with his words. He's never kissed a man. And anytime you do something like that, you've lost your manhood. And so, I'm all for people telling their stories and how others made them feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
However, the end part for me was like, all right, did you have to say that? It was like, come on, Lucius. Like
I felt the same way.
Yeah, it was like, you played that role a little bit too well, Lucius.
So my bad. So how do y'all feel about straight actors playing gay roles? Like, is that a knock on his manhood?
No. For me, I've kissed women more in my acting career than I've kissed men. I've never kissed a man on stage or on camera.
Did you tongue them down? Y'all was like kissing?
Baby, you're not supposed to do that.
But the scene could be one of them scenes.
I've had a love scene in a play that I did last year with a white young lady, incredible actress, incredible scene partner. Her name is Emma. She's great at her job. I think I'm pretty good at my job. It's a job for me. So I just put that same scenario on my straight counterparts. If I can kiss a white girl and still be completely in tune with my gayness and my queerness, you should be able to do your job as an actor and kiss a man if the role calls for it. At the same time, I have boundaries and within my acting realm, just like other people do as well. For me, I'm not going to put on a dress if it's not done with taste. I'm not going to feed into the mammy trope and essentially make fun of the black women in my community for the sake of a check.
Okay.
Which you see a lot of our older elders have done in their career. If I'm going to put on a dress, it has to be done tastefully. It has to add art to the story. It's not going to be used to stereotype the women in my life who raised me. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of connect that boundary to them not wanting to play gay roles. If that's a boundary that you have, then that's your boundary. But I kind of look at it both ways. I'm like, okay, well, I'm an actor. I've kissed women. I've never kissed a man on screen or on stage. I would love to. I've only kissed women. I'm still a faggot.
Now, if they ask you to act like you was on Baddies, would you do it?
For me, no, because, okay, I think the reason that Terrence would not play gay is because he sees being gay as worse than being a thug or being a drug dealer.
Right.
I more so have an issue.
Why do you think that?
Because it's true in our community.
But why do you think Terrence Howard thinks that way?
He's from the olden days.
Okay.
From an old.
I definitely think Terrence Howard grew up in his grandma would rather you be a drug dealer than a punk.
And most people still would. Shit ain't changed, bro. We're literally about to lose our rights to get married again after having them for less than 10 years. So when we see these actors he's played Lucius Lyon, a toxic womanizer who was dealing drugs through half the fucking show, and that's how he started his label. He played a pimp in
Hustle and
Flow.
You know, why is it that you were more comfortable playing these type of roles, but if a gay role was presented to you, that was the most taboo? Because it reflects how we raise our children in our community and how we put those taboo subjects on our black kids.
So what if he simply just says, I'm just not gay, and that's a boundary I don't really care to?
I'd rather you have said that, especially when there are so many gay actors who don't even get the chance to audition for gay roles, but they always give them to straight people.
Yeah. So I want to kind of give Terrence Howard. I don't.
Thanks.
Shut up, Jonesy. I hate you.
I like that, bro. That's they snap, bro. They snap with that one.
We can't have shit. Damn.
Because Terrence Howard went on a quick tangent about this topic, it wasn't something that was given to him to speak about.
Right.
I feel like because it wasn't rehearsed or prepped.
You feel like it was a rapid response.
Yes. And I don't know if he gave as much context for me to just
Terrence, you're homophobic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that you're saying that. That's why I asked you, why do you think Terrence Howard? I want the listeners to have that context because again, they haven't saw the interview.
Yeah.
So they don't have any context. I want to know why you think that way. That's
he is treading closely to the line though.
I feel like
he's right there.
It's not
bro.
homophobic, but homophobic shaped.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of our elders claim that they're not homophobic, but if you're raised a certain way, some things you're just never going to rid yourself of subconsciously. And it just slips through the cracks when you're put on the spot in certain questions being asked to you. Like, I love one of my family members down, has literally let me live with them. But when we were having the conversation of me being an openly Black gay man, she was like, yeah, I ain't got no problem with y'all. I just don't think it's natural. And I was like, well, why do you think that? She was like, well, just look at the anatomy of things. And then I had to have a talk. I'm like, well, my G-spot is in my anal cavity. Of course, me wanting pleasure there from a man, it's okay. It's also okay if a man wants pleasure from his anal cavity from a woman. But just for you to say that it's not natural because a man has a penis and a woman has a vagina, that's not true. You know, it was a homophobic statement.
Right.
But I know this family member is not homophobic. Like,
can I give you another layer to try to make sense of?
Okay.
With the natural part. Because we do not have the ability to reproduce, do you think that is why men and women are supposed to naturally be with each other?
I don't know.
Like in the terms of normalcy?
No, just when we talk about natural, what is natural? What is supposed to happen?
I think the only natural thing about sex is you're supposed to enjoy it as long as you're two consistent adults. That's the most natural thing, in my opinion.
I'm with you. I want people to dig deeper into sex, not being just
about reproduction
and just a pleasurable temporary act for you to do just for pleasure.
And it's not just a physical act at all.
It's also for health. If you never have sex ever, period, you're going to die earlier than someone that is regularly having sex. Sex is a useful tool to, one, for exercise, two, for serotonin is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? Endorphins, all of these things are good. And so if you do not choose to have sex, period, ever, you're going to have a shorter life expectancy than someone that does.
Oh my God, is that why every time
somebody need to come save me, man? Come save me.
Every time that I have had good sex, no matter what the weather, the sun literally comes out.
You're having lesbian sex.
Hello? I don't think so. There are two penises involved.
You're fucking for a long time.
Every time I've had sex, the sun comes out. Like, it's like, can you feel it? I feel like that's spiritual validation from God. Like, this is supposed to happen. Like, you're supposed to. It's like I have a purity complex and I'd be feeling so bad. But I'm like, why every time I have good sex, the sun comes out? Maybe that's a sign from Lord, like, live in this, girl. Enjoy that pounding.
Or you can pound it closer to heaven's gates.
Maybe.
You seeing the light.
Well, we need to get you some sex because spring still ain't here yet. It's cold as fuck outside.
True.
We definitely, somebody needs to come fuck Dupree.
Lord.
Come fuck him. I'm sorry.
Wow, Jonesy.
My mom cannot watch this episode. Oh my gosh.
Please do not watch this episode with your kids.
Or my daddy.
We probably should say that.
He is a fan of the pod. I'm like, skip episode 130.
Hey, shut up, Pops, man.
Now, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Okay.
So we do have a couple of sexual assault topics. One of the things Terrence Howard did say in that short stint of the episode was, when you give up your manhood, you can never get it back. And he said that the men that did have acts done to them at the P. Diddy parties and with P. Diddy, they never can come back from it. They're never okay. And he said, you need therapy. And he said that when you do things, being told, basically, if you want the riches, you want the fame, you want the rewards, and you choose to give up your integrity and morals to get that, it still feels like it's not enough. You're not done. And so basically you just feel stuck mentally because you gave up all of this and you still don't feel like it's enough. And that's what I don't know if he was tying that to what he means by manhood. But he was saying that these people can never come back mentally because of that.
I
Right.
hate that he said the word manhood because I probably would have agreed with some of what he was saying a little bit more. It's like that scenario, like, oh, would you suck some dick for $50,000? And
Too low.
Would you suck some dick for $50 million? Damn it, Jonesy. And some people be like, hell yeah, I'm a. But then some people are like, nah, because
Whoa, who just did that noise?
Him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I ain't
I
going
was
that far.
like, you really is gonna trip them out, bro. Like, I'm trying to
going that
save
far.
you, bro.
We have to make this a clip. But some people be like, hell yeah, I'm a guck that shit. And then some people will be like, nah, because every dollar that I spend in at 50, it reminds me of how I got the said 50 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what he was alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it was mixed in with some homophobia because he feels like doing stuff with another man is it's a act he can't come back to for him. That's him. But me having sex with another man doesn't negate me from my manhood. I'm still a nigga at the end of the day.
Yeah, you wake up in the morning and still feel like a man.
I feel like a great man. I feel like an even better man. But that just shows his perception of what manhood is. But I do think there is some truth to you giving your pussy or your dick away for the sake of your career.
Yeah.
That can strip you of a lot.
Yeah.
And that's something that you may never come back from if you do not seek the help. He's true in that aspect.
Yeah.
But I can't speak to the like sacrificing your integrity and like not feeling complete. Because when I was in music heavy, an artist we was dealing with, we was trying to get him to sign. So, I mean, for obvious reasons. And for whatever reason, he just wouldn't. And me and my brother was talking. And we was like, well, we can get him to sign. No, not on no gay shit.
Mm-hmm.
We can get him to sign, but I'm like, gee, if it's immoral or gonna go against my integrity, I'd rather just lose the contract.
Yeah.
Because it ain't gonna feel like a win.
And all these sexual acts, just having my knowledge of the industry, they're not always, shit can get really dark. It's more than just sucking somebody's random dick.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna want you to do inhuman acts.
Right.
To gain certain accesses.
Inhumane.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no vanilla sex.
It's not gonna be, all right, we need you to go get, and even giving head to a dick you don't want is very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be some like shit you've never thought of. Like, even a gay man would be like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Can you say that again? Because I don't think people think about that part when they try to degrade a person that did use their body to get some type of progression in life. You had said it's traumatic to have sex with a dick you don't want.
Ain't nothing scarier than a dick you don't want.
I agree.
Okay, baby. I
agree.
Like every
Dick's
man
scary.
convicted of sexual assault, that should be your punishment because you gave a dick that somebody did not want.
No, we're speaking in the terms of someone that feels they're faced with the decision of having sex in exchange for career
advancement.
Yes.
That strips your soul. Sex is so spiritual, y'all. It don't matter how transactional society may make it or make it seem like just give up your poom poom for low cash. You're giving away a piece of yourself that essentially you cannot get back.
Yeah.
Just like losing your virginity. There is a version of you before your virginity was lost. You had a different perspective on what sex is. No matter how good or bad you enjoyed it, you changed after that.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yep. Even when you're celibate or abstinent from sex and then you do it again.
You feel different.
Yeah.
You do feel different.
It was one more thing I wanted to say about this topic.
Do you think Terrence Howard was homophobic in what he said?
I think if you would have let him keep talking, he would have talked himself into a homophobic corner.
Yeah.
Some say he already did. Because that was my initial thought of the whole. My first thought was like, this is so homophobic.
Yeah, no, he was definitely he was definitely finna cross that line if you would have let him keep talking.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been an intentional and a homophobic thing. Like, gay people are bad. But just the way, like you said, he was probably raised. It's just, if you let him talk long enough on that topic, he gonna start crossing them boxes off.
And I have an unpopular opinion. I would prefer this than what a lot of streamers are doing, gay baiting, and know damn well they're not even gay. When there's so many gay.
What's gay baiting?
Please explain.
Like the Kai Sinets and the I Show Speeds, like they gay bait a lot.
What
you
does
never
that
had
mean?
niggas in school who would like pretend to be gay for the sake of a joke or comedic relief.
It turned out them niggas wasn't pretending.
A lot of the niggas do be pretending. But they know to be actually gay in a lot of spaces that they take up in is taboo. But they gay bait because everybody know they straight for real. And this shit is a joke. So I'd rather you be like, I don't really fuck with that gay shit. That ain't for me in my career. Then you gay bait for the advancement of your career.
Wait, so do I gay bait?
It could be taken as that.
It can be. But
I gotta stop then.
Because you never been like, Dupree, let me suck your dick.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
Okay, see,
that is...
Dupree,
what?
Them streamers don't just be outright saying stuff
I was gonna
like
say, because I'm lost in this gay bait thing with them. Like, what they be doing?
Do you know the young streamer Rakai?
I don't know who Rakai is.
Okay. Well,
that's not Kai Cenat?
So that is Kai Cenat's
cousin or brother, I thought.
No.
Because I know Kai has a family member with him. Like he put one of his like little brothers on or some shit like that. I think you mean
DDG. DDG has a Kardashian.
No, Kai Cenat got a brother too.
Nah,
damn it, it's new shit every day.
Because he talked about it on Shannon Sharp. He said his dad like had a brother, and the dad showed the brother that Kai was his brother, and then that's how they ended up linking. Because his dad got hella kids and shit.
Well, that's not
him.
That's not anyone in the house.
Okay.
Kai Cenat recently just bought a mansion or a house for basically the young gen of people he's bringing into his AMP group of streamers.
Okay.
And they all have pretty promising like streaming careers on their own. And he's basically trying to hone into their skills and their craft by bringing them together.
Right.
And so he has someone named Rakai who became a big like sensation for them when he did his marathon stream. And Rakai does a lot of, I would say he does a lot of gay baiting. But he's also very young. He's like 16, 17 now.
Right.
And when he started streaming, he was younger than that. And he was the same way. It's just only intensified now that he has more of a stardom.
Okay.
And so the things that he does that could be gay baiting is a song called Lululemon that's out right now.
Yeah, Lululemon.
And he always, like, he talks like this and...
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to pick up what y'all
But he's not gay. Or
right.
He presents himself to not be gay. He's not gay.
Right.
But that is still heavily his character when he's streaming.
We see it all the time, not even just streamers, but content creators. Who was that content creator who just went viral a couple weeks ago for threatening to like whoop his son's ass because his son was playing with a girl toy?
I don't know.
I did see that.
Like his claim to fame was wearing a skirt and cosplaying as a black woman making skits from back in the day. I can't think of his name.
Is it Mike?
I think it might have been
that.
Mike.
I don't know, but I do know who we're talking about.
His son picked up a fucking pink iPad. First of all, I'm like, it's an iPad. What the fuck is even a girl told about that? The color?
Hey, he'll hate my phone.
Right, and I'm like, damn, niggas can't even.
He might swing on me. You see this
niggas can't wear pink no more. I'm like, damn, but. He threatened to like whoop his son's ass on a live stream because his son picked up a girl toy. And I'm like, first off, it wasn't just his son in the room; it was his sisters in the room. So you're teaching homophobic rhetoric to not only your son but to your daughters, which just increases the homophobia they got to experience as kids and that they will carry because they learned it from their parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you literally built your career off of
gay bait.
Gay baiting and stereotyping the gay community.
Yeah.
That's fucked up to me. And never apologize. Like, I'm going to raise my son how I want to raise mine. And you saw so many comments like, yeah, good shit. That's how you supposed to raise your son. Good parenting. Get this man a reward. I'm like, y'all are really fucked up. It's really scary out here.
Okay. So bring us back to gay bait now.
I'm going to bring us back to the Terrence Howard topic.
Oh, okay.
We're going to close that up. We're going to close that up.
I know what he's talking about.
You had asked me, do I think that he was presenting homophobia, right?
You think his statement was homophobic?
I didn't dive too deep into that when I was watching it. I purely was just watching it just to consume it. Because I actually watched the full episode. Like, I was engaged more into the part of talking about the nerdy shit, his patents and his studies. And so I didn't even know that P. Diddy crap was at the very fucking end.
Yeah.
It's like
shit came out of nowhere.
I had to go scrub for it because and I screenshotted my place in the interview to go back because I was severely interested in just the nerdy shit. So obviously this is what picked up was that part of the interview. And so I don't personally have an opinion on the homophobia part. What I do have an opinion on is the way that men speak about sexual assault and molestation that happens to men.
Oh yes, get into it. We might be here for a minute.
Maybe, hopefully not.
No, like when the Breakfast Club covered this situation, the next story that they had in the same video was about Cassie having to speak on trial. And you notice a very clear shift in the room because they joked about Terrence's account from start to finish. Everybody in the room did, maybe besides Lauren. Everybody had a no Diddy joke, a joke rooted in homophobia, a joke to really clown Terrence. But the minute that they switched to the Cassie situation, which obviously she was a victim of, Diddy's abuse, it was taken so seriously. And that comes from that's where no Diddy comes from. If Diddy was only known for assaulting women, no Diddy wouldn't be a term.
Right. Because you don't hear no Dr. Dre.
You don't hear no Bill, no Cosby, no pill in the pudding pop. Like, you don't hear that shit. It's because all of the accounts of Bill's abuse came from women.
We kind of talked about in the Talks with T a little bit with the YG music video. And I talked about how I hate when men confess being sexually assaulted and molested, it becomes a gender war in comment sections. It's more of a
were you really assaulted? What were you doing?
Why didn't you enjoy it, man?
Why didn't you? Like, if I was 15, I would have.
First of all, that was his fucking aunt.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, that was his girlfriend's aunt.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm more so speaking on the fact of just men wanting to be supported when they do come out, or men that have not confessed that they've been sexually assaulted and they're projecting in comment sections. And they want defense to come their way the same way they've seen women be defended or backed when they are accusing someone of sexual assault or just talking about their stories.
Right.
That's the gender war that I'm focused on when I say there's a gender war. I personally think that this manhood thing that Terrence Howard brought up, it makes me think that when sexual assault happens to a man, it's worse than when it happens to a woman. Because when you think about bug breaking, that is always a key point that men bring up when they talk about why homosexuality is wrong. Because it was used to break down the black man.
Right.
Right? And so when I think about what Terrence Howard was saying, when you only get one manhood, when it's taken away, that's it, you don't get it back. It just makes me think that, okay, but what about women when their power is taken away from them?
Has she lost her womanhood?
Yeah. Is that twofold? Is it the same? Or we just expect that harm to happen to women?
There you go.
So much so that it's just like an everyday.
Yeah. But when it happens to a man, it needs to be put on a pedestal because now this man is severely affected. Like his manhood was taken. He can't get that ever back. What about that woman? Women are more likely to be sexually assaulted than men. And so that is multiple accounts of power being taken from them.
Right.
Does that one time that it happened to the men, does that overpower how many times it's ever happened to a woman? That is just a question I'm just putting out there. Because I don't know personally how people feel, but I get that vibe.
I don't think so.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I ain't going to speak
from
to
my
it.
perspective. I think anytime somebody's a victim of sexual assault, it should be taken seriously.
Yes. We on
the same.
We're all saying the same thing.
But can you also agree that whenever a man does come out as a victim, survivor, I'm learning, of sexual assault, does he not get clowned for that, especially when it's from the hands of a woman?
We don't know because a lot of them don't. I think that is just something that black men just put in front of themselves to keep themselves traumatized, to keep themselves further away from healing.
To answer your question,
but I've seen the comment section though.
I was going to say,
I saw
does
comments
happen.
about YG's song, and a lot of those comments were they were horrible.
Where did you see those comments? Because we were on YouTube.
I was on Facebook.
It's a difference. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know. Because one, we don't have enough of it. Right. And then two, when it does come out, you got to, it depends on what audience you're looking at.
It depends on which corner you're in.
There was a story about a teacher who was making the boys run a train on her. And she was a white teacher. And basically a student came out about being a victim of forced to run a train on a lady.
Yeah.
And in that same video the Breakfast Club was covering, one of the producers Charlamagne stopped him from saying it. He was like, shit, she should have been my teacher. You see what I'm saying? Like when a young man comes out with stories of sexual assault, especially at the hands of another woman, I often see those type of comments like, well, why didn't he enjoy it? What's wrong with him?
But that's when the woman is the one that's sexually assaulting that boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Terrence Howard is not talking about your manhood is being taken away when a woman take it.
No, I'm saying like you can't win either way. If a man is coming out of a sexual assault account between a man, he's now deemed less of a man from a lot of people.
I don't agree with that. I think when it's a woman taking a man's manhood, a boy, because it's not typically a man.
Correct.
That is a badge of honor. More than likely. But when you come out as that man and say, hey, this was wrong.
Right.
That's when you could get ridiculed.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because YG wasn't, the first lyric of the song was, when I was 14, I got raped. He wasn't saying like, when I was 14, I fucked this grown ass woman. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the comments that I was seeing on Facebook was like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? You was getting grown pussy. Just like when people, just like with Boozy. He was paying for, saying that he would pay for strippers to give his sons fellatio. And his son's like 13 to 11 or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
But you know, he's one of the most homophobic people on earth.
Yeah. But again, that depends on the comment section you're in. I just hate when we make one perspective be the perspective. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. There will be many that ridicule the boy. They call you a bitch. You enjoy that coochie. What are you talking about? You were raped. There will be many like that. And there will also be many that are in support. And you, as a person that wants to, the survivor, if you actually want to regain power back, be able to navigate through this trauma in a progressive way, then you need to go find that community that you want to be a part of. Because I think a lot of them, they choose to just complain and not figure out what they want to do with this trauma. Like, it's just, like I said it, I think YG just wanted to get it out there. Mm-hmm. Now, YG, what are you going to do after you've got it out there?
I hope he was in therapy before he got it out there. I would hope. At least that.
I want to know, what else do you want to do after you have now told the world that you were sexually assaulted? What else do you want to do with this?
What else do you think he should do?
Yeah, what would you want to see?
I think he should utilize his platform and stop degrading women. I think that would be great, because YG's music is a lot like that.
I don't know his catalog. When I made a video about it, they were like, well, somebody literally was like, well, he's a colorist, so I don't care.
No, think of like that old 90s LA hip hop, but with a modern spin. A lot of bitches and hoes.
I think it's a great.
I even pre-stated in this video, I do not know this man's history. I don't know if he has had counsel-worthy actions. All I'm saying is this should not have happened to him. And
at all.
Yes.
Yes.
But there was a comment on my YouTube video that said, well, he's a colorist, so I don't care what happens to him.
YG ain't got much of a celebrity to be caring about.
I was like, I don't know YG.
He don't really do nothing. Like, he dressed weird.
Yeah.
Is he the one that got the song with Nicki Minaj, Big Bank, Take Little Bank?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him.
So I do know some of his music.
Yeah. My nigga is his. My nigga.
Oh,
my nigga. Yeah, that's his.
In a club,
he got some hits.
Yeah, he got some hits.
Yeah.
But we don't really, like YG is just like, oh, that's YG.
He got some money coming in from his music, but he not like.
Yeah, he's like the Kehlani of hip hop.
All right. So, don't do that to Kehlani. Don't disrespect her.
Because I listen to Kehlani
disrespect
heavy.
her music.
But there was a time when I wasn't, so I guess I could get it. I get that statement.
You don't have to want to do nothing. I don't want that to be the thing. I'm just saying, someone that has a platform like YG, he has a much larger platform than many humans, to come out and want to do a music video, let alone a song and then a music video, to be graphic as it was, to show the visualize this experience. Like, you wanted to do something more than just say I was sexually assaulted. You wanted it to be much meaningful. And so now the person that is consuming this art, what else do you want to do besides this? Is this just it? That was one of the things that was going on in my head. Because I think that you can utilize your platform to further advocate for men.
Sure.
And be that community that for some reason people don't see in comment sections.
Right.
Because we didn't see that on YouTube. A lot of the YouTube comments was not saying what you were saying. But you also were on Facebook. And that is...
Facebook is a whole...
Yes.
Like the Walmart of social media.
Yes.
Literally same colors.
Yeah, so...
Maybe he felt like that's all he could do.
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Saying maybe,
Yeah, shout out YG,
I have respect for the fact that he even told his story. Because there are a lot of men
Yes.
who have been victims from both genders who
Yes.
will die with their secrets.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that
And there are probably 10 times more women who will have died and have already died, never seeking justice, never speaking out about their assault. Too. Like hell, Missy Elliott was scared to speak up about her assault 20 years ago.
mhm.
I think maybe 20 or 25 now. But even I remember watching her behind the music, and her mom was like, "Are you sure you want to speak about this? Aren't you scared of the feedback you get, the criticism you'll face?"
Mhm.
I was like, "Why would anybody have to think of facing criticism for being a survivor of sexual assault? That is so fucked up that you even have to consider what the term is, victim blaming."
Yeah.
I'm like, how long are we gonna make this a topic of discussion? How long are we gonna victim blame or survivor blame in your case?
Well, the more that we are in comment sections and we're showing that we are alive and proud and we're there in support for survivors of sexual assault, the more that people will probably feel more empowered to speak
Yeah.
out and give their testimony and regain power. Because that's all that I believe sexual assault is a power exchange. Not exchange. That's a terrible word to use.
I know what
It
you're
is a
saying.
power. Isn't a
Power trip?
Abusive
nah.
power.
You're stripping power
You're
from
stripping of power. Yeah.
another person, and so now they have nothing. They have to figure out how to regain that power back. And so that could be speaking out and saying, "Hey, this was done to me," or it can be, "Hey, this person did this to me." So like you're voicing and saying that this is the person that did it. You're disclosing the person because you want to see them have consequences or just some type of shame behind their action, or it's a matter of you creating some type of organization, and it's for survivors of sexual assault. I know that's one of the things that I want to leave behind. I've always wanted to create some type of like guide or rule book of what can you do to try to defend yourself in court if you are sexually assaulted, because again, this is a hard case to prove in court.
Right.
And we're speeding ahead to the mental health topic.
Let's do it.
The mental health topic that I have for this episode is basically being you having survivor's remorse, and then you also experiencing victim blaming for self. Whether you were around a victim blaming themselves, or you having a moment where you blamed yourself for something that was done to you, and you just picking and choosing between if you feel like your experiences in life were more towards being having survivor's remorse, or you feeling like you have been placed in many situations where you were experiencing victim blaming, and you just choose your lane, whichever one that you want to be, you feel like you are in.
Oh, okay. I think I deal with survivor's remorse because when I was in the military, right before I left Italy, my homie, God bless the dead, man, my homie Felton had died. And I saw him like right before, well, not right before, because they went to the club and shit. But like before I went back to my dorm, we was kicking it and shit at this little restaurant, like an after hours, not an after hours, a late night spot before we would go to the club. Because in Italy, the club don't open till 12. Like that's when doors open. Yeah, you finna be in that
Yeah, I
motherfucker
ain't
till
gonna lie, I
6,
need to
7
go
in
to
the
Italy.
morning. So we at the spot kicking it. Like I remember this like night, like everything. I remember the cologne I had on, like vivid as hell. But to speed up the story, he ended up dying in a car crash that night, not too far from like the same restaurant, like right on the back street of where the restaurant was at. I was like, damn, bro, we could have played 2K or something that night. Like like something, bro. So yeah, like I still got to go on and like change bases, get out the military, all that shit, and like I still think about that day, bro.
And how do you overcome that remorse if you have?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I think I've been doing a better job at like handling and shit. Like if you ever watch like a war movie or something, and like it's a scene where like the dude will wake up out of a nightmare or something, he's sweating and shit. Like I used to get that bad as hell. I don't think it was over him directly, but like I used to have those fucking terribly, bro. But yeah, I don't think it's something I got over. I don't think it's something you even get over. You know, you just, I guess, grow into it in a sense. Because it's only gotten easier to manage, but it ain't nothing I forget.
I agree.
Like grief doesn't go away.
Like when I say I remember and can damn near feel like everything from that night, like the cloth seats in my car. I remember what songs I listened to when I left there. We was talking about Game 6, the Spurs versus fucking the Heat that year because he was a big Spurs fan. I remember what everybody around me was wearing.
Yeah.
The color of the lights in the building. You know, like DJ has got them lights to go crazy. Like I remember all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember who checked my ID going into the gate when I left there. Like everything, bro. Like some shit you just cannot forget.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what and what was the second question? Did I answer that?
No, you experience survivor's remorse more than you feel like you've experienced moments of victim blaming for self.
Yeah. And I don't think I even really blame myself too much for that situation because it's like we could have did something, but it was more of a 50-50 coin toss up. Like, hell, I could have ended up going to the club that night. And the only reason I didn't go is because I was getting ready to PCS and I didn't want to risk getting in trouble.
What's PCS?
PCS is when you transfer duty stations.
Okay.
I forgot what it stands for, but if you're somebody in the military, say PCS, they're leaving wherever the hell they at.
And so the reason that you weren't in the car is because you didn't go to the
I ain't go to the club, but hell,
so he was at the same club and they went to another spot.
We was at. It was one of them like it's not a club, but like when it get late, it open up type shit.
Like an
it was
after
more
hours.
of a restaurant, yeah.
Like a
And then
restaurant.
from there, they went to the club. I wouldn't have been in the car with him. No, if anything, he would have been in the car with me.
Got you.
But I wouldn't have been in the car with
because
them.
you didn't go to another spot after the spot you guys were at, have survivor's remorse.
Yeah,
Because you would have taken a car that he could have been in.
100%.
Got you. I just want to make sure I have it clearly. I don't want you to keep reliving it right now. So
Yeah, because had I went, he would have rode my
Understood.
shit. And that's not to say I wouldn't have gotten into a crash either. But yeah,
it stems that question. You know, when it's your time, is it really your time?
exactly.
People die in tragedies like that, and the truth is, we don't have that answer until our demise is met.
Yeah,
you
so
may
it's
not even have it then. You just don't know.
so it's really hard to blame myself, but I'm growing now to like kind of feel bad that I blame the driver. I still battle with. I still kind of do.
So was the accident the driver's fault though?
That's the only thing I don't remember was who was determined to be at fault or what was determined to be at fault.
That's crazy.
Because it was two cars involved.
That important factor is the only thing you don't remember.
That's the only thing I
why
don't
that is.
remember.
I just think that is so fascinating in the most respectful way
Mhm.
because it's a personal story for you. You remember the cologne and the bouncer, but you don't remember.
That's the
what
only
or who
thing.
caused the incident.
And I don't think I even looked into like the accident details.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't
Maybe
think
too
I ever
traumatic
did.
for you.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
Both
you
like
don't
when
have
we
to.
pulled up that next morning, we still saw like both cars burnt up and shit.
Oh.
Like, yeah. It was crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry about that.
yes, I am, and this is one of those moments where I don't have the range to answer the question,
Okay.
but I think Jonesy definitely gave a very.
Why don't you think you have the range?
I don't think I've had survivor's remorse before.
Do you feel comfortable speaking to any experiences where you've probably blamed yourself for things that has happened to you?
Or even around you.
Not right now.
Okay. I battle with survivor's remorse often. It's multiple things. I've gone through a lot of stuff in life that it took for me to get older to realize was not good. And I'm currently going through a lot of stuff that is only intensifying and adding on more trauma for me to have to heal from. This little breakup that I'm going through has given me new PTSD. Paranoia is something that I didn't know that I had until now. I know I had like sent this one girl a long message to her. And this is somebody I had in my life for a long time. And I just feel like I kept running away from her because I didn't want to experience like love that didn't have any pain attached to it. I'm attracted to pain.
Yeah, you told us that.
Yeah. And so my homie that had got married last summer, he had said that his woman, his wife now, she's the girl that always wanted him, and he kept going after girls that was his typical, but just never was the girl that actually liked him. And so that is how he found his wife, is when he told himself, go after the girl that actually likes you. And so the girl that I did choose that I thought was supposed to be my wife, there was many signs that she was not it. And so now, because I'm such an empathetic person, I gave a lot of excuses for why she was it. And in the midst of me doing so, I blame myself a lot for the trauma that I do now have from that relationship, because I could have stopped it before it got worse. Because the girl, my ex-fiance started doing weird shit because she was revolting, and she would say crashing out from me choosing to break up with her and calling off the engagement. She went through my phone. She put security camera in my room. And now I have this paranoia where I don't trust myself in my own home. I've been forced to have to live with her for 8 months now because our lease is not up until June. And I'm an extremely empathetic person that I feel pain. Like, I can watch an action movie and I can see somebody fall down the stairs in a scene, and I can feel that fall.
You a movie crier? Like the movie could be fake as hell. And...
Sometimes, not all the time.
You don't cry at the dog commercials, do you?
No, I don't. Okay. No. But I and that's a real phenomenon. Like I've been doing studies on it, because I was just out with my homegirl, and we going out to the movies and shit, and it was just us in the movie theaters, and it's always dark in the movies. And I just keep like feeling energy next to me of, did somebody just multiple times looking behind me, make sure ain't nobody walked into this bitch, because I keep feeling it right here and then right here in the back of my head. And she looking at me crazy.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Heifer?
Yeah, and I'm like, when I be in my crib, I'll be like, I gotta keep my bed light on. I have an LED light in my built into my bedroom. I gotta keep that on. I never go out into the living room without the lights on, because I always see figures just in the darkness.
Right.
And that always has been there. But now that I've gone through a person actually choosing to try to watch me with a security camera or whatever, like, it's way more intensified now that I really do have like PTSD and paranoia.
Right. Definitely sounds like PTSD to me.
So the victim blaming,
choked up just recounting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I hate that this is something that I have. In the message that I had sent Shorty, where I was going to try to explain to her, like, she was trying to force herself to be my friend in high school. And I kept pushing her away, because I've always had this internal fear of meeting people, because I know that when people are the things that can hurt you the most. So when you allow somebody into your life, you're allowing potential pain. And so I would go to school, books, homework, gym, sports, go back home, play video games all night, repeat. That was my routine every day. And when I go to school, we friends at school. But as soon as I go home, I would never talk to you again.
Oh, God. I was the same way.
I would never talk to you again. We only talking at school. And this one particular girl, she just kept throwing herself in front of me. We had an English class freshman year of high school. And this is my first encounter with her. And she just kept trying to look me in my eyes. And me, I was such a socially awkward kid, because I just didn't have the social skills. I wasn't trying to have them, that I couldn't look people in the eye when I talked to them. And so she'd be talking. I'm like, why are you not looking at me? I'm like, girl, you're weird. But really, I just didn't know that was a problem or something that I needed to strengthen.
Right.
Having communication skills, social skills, human interactions, because I was closing myself off from it so that I wouldn't lose my life early.
Right.
And so I was trying to communicate that to her for why I never chose her, because it's been multiple times where I could have chosen that girl, and I kept going towards the girls. There were people that I needed to save.
Right.
And I blame myself a lot for this trauma that I do have, because every relationship I've been in since I started dating have been severely traumatic. Them bitches got too much going on, bruh.
Yeah, not bitches, guys.
Bitch.
They had too much going on, and I was just I'm just so empathetic. I just want to help. I want to help people, and I never really view myself as an issue or a problem or having a hella trauma and shit until I had to get older and realize, damn, I'm fucked up too. Mm-hmm. And then like survivor remorse, I deal with that often. When I was in 7th grade, we were put in a very harmful environment. We were around a serial rapist. We went to go visit family in Minnesota. I had somebody be sexually assaulted in a room atop of me because I was sleeping in the basement. And I remember that person coming downstairs and sleeping right next to me. And they woke me up. And I was like, why you come down here? I thought you was up there sleeping and shit. And she was like, I just wanted to be with y'all. And that is something that I cannot shake out of my head when I talk about people that are moments where I feel like I could have been sexually assaulted. Because again, I've had moments where I had to fight off people trying to sexually assault me. And I just feel like it was so many people around me that were being sexually assaulted. And it's like, damn.
They probably weren't saying nothing.
No, they said something, and I'm grateful for them for saying something. But there's many people that didn't, or they thought it was supposed to happen, or like they just didn't know what was going on. And I was near it. And it just didn't happen to me. And I was able to fight off the 2 times where somebody was trying to force themselves onto me. And so I definitely, like, I cry myself to sleep sometimes thinking about, because I can't get my that person's voice out of my head.
No, you probably can't get that one little sentence.
Hell no, bro. I cannot get that shit out of my head. And it just be random. I'll be sitting in the car idle, and I just start thinking about when she fucking, I just wanted to be with y'all. And it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like that was authentic, that you really just wanted to be with us. And then this was all in like 7th grade. And it didn't stop from there. The next morning, the person that sexually assaulted that person was bribing her with an iPhone. And he came to her and was like, are you okay? And that is what triggered or let that person know that she was being molested. Because she was sleeping and the person tried to molest her. And so to her, she didn't know that it was real until that person came and was like, are you okay? And it like signified like, yeah, I wasn't tripping. This person was touching on me while I was sleeping.
Right.
And so then that proceeded to me having to go to court proceedings with the person. We had to go through like real court because charges was brought upon that person. And that is where I learned that the one that is being accused of sexual assault, he's a serial rapist and we should have never been around this person. And so me, I have a lot of trauma. And we went viral doing like a Facebook video when we were in court. We were like, it was an adult in the courtroom basically defending the person that was assaulted. And we were all in a room with the person that was the survivor. And we were like doing like little cute kid shit. We were punching each other, doing this little game of like who can take the punch. Like you'll punch the person's hand. And then the other person would punch the other person's hand back. And it's whoever would give up from it starting to hurt your hand. So we was recording ourselves doing that, not fucking recognizing that, damn, we're in court right now waiting for and that video was posted on Facebook and we had all our friends sharing the video, because that person had punched us, they had punched the other person in the face instead of punching their hand on some funny shit. So we went viral locally off that video, and that video resurfaces every year on Facebook for me in my memories. And it just reminds me of like, we were really innocent kids and that shit was happening. And that shit still, a lot of stuff still bothers me in regards to sexual assault. So I'm like severely sensitive when we talk about this matter. And I hate when I see gender wars and the conversation gears away from it being solely about the survivors and how can we help them. I get pissed off. Because I was able to see the court proceedings, how fucking hard it is. Like, I really had to I got a good close-up account of really having to try to fight your case and shit.
Right.
And every day I really do always think about all the moments where it could have happened to me and it didn't. And I get really sad. It'd be fucking me up. So yeah, that's my little experience. I'm sorry I teared up. I'm sorry I teared up.
End it like that?
I'm sorry I did all that because I thought I was gonna be able to tell this piece. Cause this is something I fucking deal with every day with being with that girl.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-fiance, she don't recognize, and I don't even think she probably cares as much of all this trauma that she has inflicted on me with me just choosing not to be with her anymore. And like, this is episode 130, and
you've been taking the high road this whole time.
I've been taking the high road for 8 months, man. And a lot of people don't know it. Like I just be chilling, trying to not do stuff that I'm probably going to regret later because I know that I can easily beat this girl ass. I can really make her life and live in hell. But I don't think that that's what I want to do. I just want to get away from you.
Right.
Like, that's all I really want. And like, we haven't been able to do this episode in like 3 weeks.
Boy. The last 4 days, man. Oh,
we was supposed to record episode 130, but it's just been really hard for me to want to record because mentally I have not been okay. And so, Club Culture family, we probably are going to go on a mid-season break just so I can fully move out. Lease is up in June, so we got 2 months.
New crib on the way. New cars, nigga.
Yeah.
New jewelry, nigga. You ever seen that video?
Nah, you gonna have to show me. You gonna have to show
me. New whips, nigga.
Yeah, you gonna have to show me. But like, I've been trying to do content and do the talks with T's and do the music shit, but it has not been good. I have not been okay, and I don't want any of my takes to be, affected from my mental state. I don't want anything to interfere with what we doing with the pod. And so I think we should go on a little mid-season break. We got 10 episodes left for season 7. So when we come back, we gonna come back stronger and better than ever.
We got some bangers in the vault, bro. Like, the stuff we've been talking about, gang. Like, I'm pretty excited to come back.
Yeah. So I think we are gonna go on just a little break. Let me move out and get the next scene location where we're gonna shoot at figured out. Yeah. Because we will not be here anymore. We won't be shooting here anymore. We'll shoot somewhere else.
Yeah. So fall in love. I mean, enjoy the last of the free ambiance.
Yeah.
Sponsored, unofficially sponsored by the Flats.
Yeah, man. That's episode 130. Y'all got a gem that y'all want to drop?
Man, I want to drop a good one.
Okay.
Want to drop a good one. Dupree, you got a gem? Let's see if it's something I posted. I want to do a good one.
Honestly, just knowing when you have the range and knowing when it's okay to be quiet is always something that has advanced me in my career. Mm-hmm. So, my gym.
Man, if you work in music, credit your producers and your engineers, nigga.
Get that sample cleared.
I ain't gonna say all that.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say all that now.
Samples cleared.
Love a good sample. we are not clearing that bitch.
You better hide it as much as possible, nigga.
Brian Michael Cox is gonna be emailing me one day.
I did watch. Are you done with your gym?
No, but that might end up being my gym, man. Okay. Maybe try to establish some identity about yourself. If you a man, you need identity. If you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going.
I did watch a movie called Woman in the ER, and I did say that I was going to talk about it in this episode, but we got deep into these topics, and we don't have the time for that. But I will try to do talks with T's in between this break. We for sure have Club Culture music still being shot, so you'll have that content. We are doing a event in May in Indianapolis. So we'll have content from that as well. It just won't be Club Culture podcast episodes as much until I move and get our shoot location figured out. So yeah, check out the movie Woman in the Yard. I would love for people to join our Discord so that we can have like a movie review channel where we can watch movies together. So we can
watch movies.
Yeah, we can watch them together in the Discord and we can talk about it because I love going to the movies and watching new shit. And I want to talk about it with people, especially that movie. That was a good one.
Invite a bitch to the movies.
You want to go to see Sinners?
Yeah.
Okay, we go see that.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is episode 130. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you're on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and make sure you leave us a rating. Peace.
Deuces.
Just watch the damn podcast.